hello, and welcome, welcome, oh, welcome to the back of my RV. Welcome to this session of the Creative Reset. I am just slightly early, but the music, the tempo, it provided that little break of which I felt I needed to interrupt and come in and say hello. So, welcome to the Creative Reset. This is going to be a special little session because I'm going to be doing a specific little craft, one that is very close to my heart, one that I love and I have actually been doing behind the scenes for a long time. Now, it is not groundbreaking by any stretch, and it is actually something not unique at all. And it's really actually when I look at the Pocket Art Challenge, it is kind of like right out of that family of crafting and something that all of you have done. If you've done anything in the realm of the pockety, well, you'll see. And when you see it, you'll be like, oh yeah, I've done that. You've done that. You've done this. Okay. But um, I wanted to reinvigorate it as a specific kind of initiative. I like using the word initiative. It's such a corporate word, but in the world of marketing, of which I came from in the corporate world, initiative is something where you're putting a very specific focus on, and it's something that I feel that I have done throughout my brand is of putting certain products out there, certain things. What's going on? What's happening? Am I talking and nothing's happening?
You're fine.
Okay. All right. Nothing like having a boy come into the room and interrupt your flow. I'm sure it was for some technical reason of which I am unaware. Okay. So I am so happy to see all your little faces in the chat room. For those of you who are in the replay club, hello and welcome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat this as if, well, for the most part, I'm going to treat this kind of like I'm doing a edited video where I'm just kind of coming in, not really focusing a whole lot on the chat room, which is hard to do. And coming in and talking about this specific craft. That way, you're not having to, kind of scrub through a bunch of Corey's chit chat as you normally have to during my 2 to 3 to 4 hour lives. Okay. It's a treat. You're welcome. So, we're going to talk about this specific craft because I don't know about you, but I am one of those people that tends to my thought life often tends to be I'm one of those people that tends to beat myself up a lot. Now, this is a lifelong habit, okay? At the age I'm at now, I just don't know when I'm ever going to lose this habit, but I never give up trying. I have never given up trying. The odd thing about this particular habit is from my earliest memory of like being a teenager, I have always been someone who's gravitated towards like the self-help kind of genre. Even when I had babysitting money in the 80s, I remember buying myself a self-help book. I remember putting positive quotes up on the walls of my room as a teenager. I constructed these things out of magazine pages. I was very big into collaging with magazine pages, which is why we often have done that in our camps because it harkens back to something a lot of us are super familiar with. Many of us made pages of quotes and all kinds of stuff with magazines. It is a familiar it is a nostalgic kind of crafting. So I love making collages. Now, the whole idea of positive quotes clearly they're very uplifting. And sometimes when you zero in on a quote and you just kind of keep looking at that quote, sometimes some quotes come along and they can really speak to your soul. They just really get in there, and it's like a little coach, and it just kind of gets in there, gets into your brain. And I can't say that about all quotes, and you can't either. I think some quotes for some people feel like they're just platitudes. They're cliche. We've heard them all. For me, I'll give you an example. Sometimes I feel like the bloom where you're planted is very cliche. sometimes when I hear it a certain way on a certain in a certain mood, I'll kind of be like, "Yeah, I totally see where they're coming from." It might hit different if I have warmed up to it because I read something or I was in that moment where now I'm kind of like, "Yeah, I get how profound that can be." But some quotes, they can just, "Oh, man, that was meant for me," kind of thing. And it can be a song lyric, it can be a verse from the Bible. It can be, and it can be an inspirational quote that was meant to be that thing, that's profound statement. So when I think back, I have just been one of those people that just loves to gather those kinds of things, and I love to put them about me. It was something I did a lot in the early period of the Reset Girl, and I often sewed them into the the harmony workshop. Case in point. I think this is harmony. Now I could be completely wrong. I have not been able to confirm where this little card came from. But one of the little cards that we put into the one of the kits, one of the I think it went into a kit. It says, "Forgive yourself for what you didn't know." So harmony and one of the camp resets, I can't remember which one, had a lot of these little, you know, very positive, uplifting messages. Now, again, I am the kind of person that will look back at my past. I keep looking backwards instead of frontwards, and I will beat myself up about things I did in my past, my parenting decisions, my life choices, and I don't know why I do that. I don't. It doesn't accomplish anything. It makes me feel terrible about myself, and then it makes it really hard to move forward. And I think it's not uncommon. I know a lot of people do this. I'm sure some of you do this. I'm not asking you to out yourself. You don't have to tell me if you do this. I'm willing to be transparent. I like to try to be transparent. I try to be courageous and share that yes, despite all the laughs and giggles that I do on in front of this camera, I am that woman. I do this to myself. This is one of my terrible habits. So, I often try to find ways to pump myself up, and I love a positive quote. So it's been a while since I have done this. I have kind of gotten away from the practice, so I've decided that I want to start putting them around me. I have some key quotes that have really they just make my heart sing. This is one of them. This is like this is deep. I really love this one. So I wanted to do a craft that's kind of focused on positive quotes, and I'm marrying it to something that I am obsessed with, that I love dearly, that I use all the time, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. I use it for planning, I use it for crafting. I have been using them a lot. They're going to be a key focus in a workshop. They're a key focus in multiple crafts projects that I have coming up to share with you. And they're cheap, 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 cheap. So, and I have them right here. I keep them in my desk drawer. I pull one out all the time. I have found myself reaching for this versus, I try to reach for one of these versus a sticky note, um, as appropriate. Let me reveal my sources. It is a humble little index card. A little index card. Now, I will show you what I do with my index card. So I have a little ledge. Okay. I'm actually going to hold up my keyboard. So I have a ledge on my keyboard so my little index cards can sit in them, and I use those. They're staring right at me. I use one as a little weekly calendar, so it's kind of reminding me of some key things ahead, the week ahead, that I don't want to miss, because I kind of I rarely have time specific things I need to be aware of, like a Zoom call or a doctor appointment. It's very rare for me to have those things. So I wrote them on a card and they're sitting right here. So now they're right in front of me. Um, they're on a digital calendar, but somehow putting them on an index card where I'm staring at it, I feel like it just, I don't know. It's the analog girl in me. I also write um my menu for the week. My menu planning goes on one of these. I will also put my little task list on there. So on Friday, last Friday, this was my task list for what I needed to get done, which was to do like the little tasks I do on the clubhouse. I try and get certain things done on Friday, like getting a happy mail out, or the club, the uh, doing the newsletter, that kind of thing. So I will dash all those tasks onto a card. That would be an example. And then I have a little workshop that I have been working on. Now it's a work in progress because it takes a while to create the materials for it. But I have these nerdy little library type cards that I wanted to show you. I mean, I'm not going to show you these, but that I wanted to show you for yourself of how you can make yourself your own little resource library for whatever you happen to be working on or want to recall for yourself. I know we live in a digital age, but I think what's kind of interesting about being Gen Xers, for the most part, most of us are, or we're kind of on the cusp where we kind of also, I know some of you kind of lean into the boomer generation, which also kind of flexes into this as well. But for the most part, we kind of have we have one foot in the world of digital, but we remember analog life. So I feel like we're flexible. Some of us embrace digital life, and some of us are kind of like, no, I like the analog world. So I feel like we're in different stages. Some of us are much more attached to our analog world, and some of us are more, we'll pick and choose what parts of digital world we feel comfortable with. So I think reaching for the index card, I feel like is almost like memory, like a, what is that called, muscle memory for me. It's like reaching for the sticky note. For some reason, my brain connects with the sticky note reach before it does a notebook or my planner. It's some weird thing. I can't seem to like interrupt that reach grabbing it. Maybe I should just keep them out of reach, but I need them. I need them. But do tend to put things on sticky notes before they make it into a notebook. It's just a weird habit. It's like I just got to dash that thought off. Um, but then they end up all over sticky notes. But I have been using the index cards, and they've been lovely. So I wanted to share with you a, a, a few quick ways in which I've been using them. And again, they're cheap. Now you do get what you pay for. So don't think that I do try to get a good um a brand of card. I do go for the heavyweight cardstock cards. If you go cheap, like the Walmart offers a cheap brand. They're cheap. Like they're almost like paper. If you buy the cheap cards on Amazon, like they have a really like 1,000 cards for $5 or something crazy like that. They're practically paper. Okay. So I do try and buy a heavyweight cardstock type because that's the kind that I'm going to turn into this craft. Okay. I do want to preface that because you want these to last. You are going to be constructing something. If you want to make these yourself, you do want to have something that has some staying power. And the cheaper ones, although they are cheap, they are a little too cheap. So we want to don't be afraid to spring for a little better quality of index card, just so you have a nicer material to work with more staying power. An archival index card, if you will. So, okay. So that is that's my opening act. That's my preface. Now, I did want to mention that today's show is brought to you by the letter C for craft. I am going to be showcasing a collection that we just released in our shop. So we just released the Wanna Craft Half Honeys. These have never been stickers before. These have only been printables. They were released as printables in 2019, so 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago. I've never been good with math. And then they are also mini honeys. These have been sitting on my desk. These are such delicious eye candy that they inspired today's craft. That I was like, I need to make something with them because they are divine. So the half honeys are what I really did was like, they are made for today's craft project. So this is what I usually do with a lot of the larger honeys is I cut them in half. I cut off their little legs. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I also have the summer love honeys. These are all the summer themed honeys. We added a couple extra girls in there to make the collection a little more inclusive. When we first rolled them out, we didn't have all the artwork that we do now. So there are a few in there that came from other collections that are not necessarily they weren't necessarily a part of the summer. So just to be fair that I'm not being like they weren't part of the original collection. So there is the summer love here as well. And these were, I think, they've been used in multiple collections, this particular summer love collection, which is why I changed the name and made it more generic. So these have been used in Camp Reset, Retreat, um, and I think I've had so many camps. So we've had the camp 2020. So we've kind of put honeys in different buckets, if you will. So there I have these. So there's two sets of honeys. I'm calling them the Girls of Summer. They're the first series of honeys for the summer. So there'll be more coming, but they are linked below in the description of this video. So I just wanted to let you know that I don't do that very much. Like, look, I'm showing you product that we're making, but I really did want to release something um, special for the summer. And these, I mean, they're so delicious. They're such eye candy. They are. I mean, they are. These ones are magnificent. These would be the honeys I would take with me on a for deserted island. Deserted island crafting, these would be the girls that would go. Plus they're dressed for the occasion. They are totally ready for a deserted island. I think I might have left there's a couple girls that are ready for party frocks. One is ready for like a little poolside party if it was a little more evening appropriate, but you get what I'm saying. So I just want to let you know that's where they are. The Mark did pop the little link in the uh, chat room, but if you're in the replay club, they are linked right at the top of all of our links in the description box. So let let me move on. And yes, I'm totally shilling my product. I don't tend to do that. You guys know that I don't do that. I actually am really bad promoting my own product. I actually have to get better at that. I'm pretty good at like I'll send a newsletter out and be like, here's our product. But as far as like showing you what I do with my own products, I haven't been good at that. But I'm gonna get better because the products that we have now, the stickers that we have now, like my gorgeous little date number labels that I just love the stuff that we have kind of curated and kind of like come down and sort of melded down to finally curated. It's the perfect word to describe what I do. It's the stuff I love. So you should be seeing me using it, right? You should be seeing me. If you're not seeing me use it, there's a problem. I may not be the real Cori if you're not seeing me use it. You should be asking questions. It's sus if you're not seeing me use it. All right, so I did make that announcement. That sticky note can go. I, I did make that announcement. See, that sticky note served its purpose. Well done, sticky note. It may go to sticky note where sticky notes go after they have served their purpose. Okay. Okay. Mark's in the chat being funny, thinks he's funny. Um, but we're moving on. Okay, so I do have notes, so I am trying to keep myself on track. And it's impossible to read said notes without one's readers. So let's see here. So, okay, I've showed you my cards. Now, look, I have a little dish of index cards. I keep them right at the front of my drawer. So I don't even have to open my drawer. I can reach right into the little front and just like pull a card out all day long as needed. So they're right there always. So if you love an index card, if you are just an office supply girl at heart, and I know many of you are, don't feel like you can't find like a little dish in your house, because many of you have fun little things like this, a little tray, a little dish, a little vintage goodness, and showcase your little cards. Make them just something so elegant, like a presentation of cards, because you might just find yourself falling in love all over again with the humble little index card. But I'm also going to show you not just the index card, but other ways of kind of inserting other types of paper that's kind of cut down to that card size to sort of create a little collection. But I'm telling you, this is another one of those little tricks, and I want to reinforce that idea because the creative reset is all about kind of like pulling you in, creating those little creative habits. And just like we have to trick ourselves into enjoying eating healthy, living a healthy lifestyle. Like, how do we trick ourselves into loving water? How do we trick ourselves into enjoying exercise? It's the same thing. How do we trick ourselves into reaching for crafting as a self-care mechanism? So making our supplies or our craft space more attractive, just like a luxury experience. I said it. I said it. Maybe, pulling out some of the things you have and making it just a beautiful little space. I am not suggesting you need to go out and buy anything. Challenge yourself to shop your home. Shop your home and your things. Repurpose something you already have. I bought this in New York. I fell in love with it. It came from that Japanese store. I can never remember, but I left the tag on it to remind myself how much I love this little bookstore. Actually, it's not little, it's multiple um uh floors, and they are a nationwide store. I bought this just because I simply loved it, and it just had really, I gave it no purpose. It's just been sitting in my drawer until one day it became it became my index card tray, and now my cards sit in elegance. So I invite you to do the same, ladies. Okay, so moving on, I have shown you my cards, I have shown you my dish, and now we're going to talk about paper. Okay, so I'm going to give you all of the ingredients, and then I'll kind of show you how it all falls together. Okay, but it's like we're doing a cooking show, and usually when the chef comes, they sort of show you the ingredients and the measurements. That's what we're doing, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to bring it all together and cook and make something delicious. So, do you guys remember the unboxing I did in the last Creative Reset episode where I showed you all that amazing paper and all my paper pads? Well, today I'm going to show you what I was thinking when I bought some of that paper and how I'm going to use it in this project. This would be an example of how some of that might be used. So I am going to be chopping up paper. I have two pads. So, okay, I'm trying to decide, what do I need to show you first? My crops or my paper? Okay, I'm going to show you the tool first, so then the paper will make sense. Because how does one, what's the easiest way to chop up paper into a 3x5 shape? Um, One might say, oh, I could make a 3x5 piece of cardboard to use as my template. And I would agree, you can totally do that. However, let me show you an alternative, and let me tell you this is not an original idea to me. One of my sweet, wonderful, lovely viewers on YouTube, and maybe you're here watching this right now, commented and left this comment in the comment section, saying after watching me use the photo crops I'm going to show you from Simple Stories, these are kind of hard to find, and it makes me wonder if they stopped making them or if they go out of stock and then it takes a while to get back out into the into the marketplace again. I'm not quite sure, but have two sets of Simple Stories photo crops. The commenter said, "Hey, I made my own using some chopping mats from, from the kitchen store." I think she even mentioned Dollar Tree. So let me show you what I'm talking about. We're going to go top down. All right. So here's what a packaged group of photo crops look like. These are made with clear plastic, and the point of them is that you hold the little crop over a photo so you can see where you're cutting, and then you cut it out with scissors. If you have been to Camp Reset, any iteration of Camp Reset, Craft, I mean, I've been doing this since probably 2019. I think is when I started doing this. You have seen these. I'm using the same exact ones since then. So here's like an example of the Simple Stories brand. This is like the 6x4, the 3x4. And you've seen them if you watch me do pocket crafting. I use these over and over. But if you cannot get your mitts on them, another way to make them yourself is to buy these flexible cutting mats, which they have at the Dollar Tree. You buy them from the kitchen section. Kitchen section. There are two of them in here for $1, and these are incredibly thin, so you can cut them with regular scissors. You do not want the thicker kind. We purchased a 6-pack of cutting mats on Amazon, and they were way too thick to cut. This kind from Dollar Tree, you can actually go on dollartree.com and they will sell you a six. Wait, let me see. You can buy, I'm trying to remember if they come in a pack of six 2-packs or 12 2-packs. I can't remember. I think it's 12 2-packs, which I did. I took them up on that because I've done so many things with that. I highly, highly, highly recommend you. That's what I would do personally, especially if you don't have a Dollar Tree near you, which if you don't, I'm frankly, I'm surprised, but let's just say you don't have a Dollar Tree. Hang on. I'm looking for one of my, can I just hold please? One moment. I'm looking for an example. Uh, my kingdom for an example. Okay. The reason why this was even recommended to me is because I used to buy these disc bound notebook covers like all assembled, and that's why the suggestion was made to me is the person said, "Hey, you can just buy these cutting mats and then you can punch them if you have a heavy duty disc bound punch. Please do not use your happy planner punch to punch these. You will break it. That is your warning." So you can use these also to make covers for your planners. Like if you want to make your own planner, your own notebook, your own junk journal, your own whatever, your own anything. These cutting mats also make fantastical covers. That is actually how this whole odyssey started. And then I ended up cutting it up, and I made myself a little clear 3x5 card. And the reason why they all have little holes in them is because sometimes they will live on a little ring. But once I found these little photo boxes, they all live in here now. And they're pretty happy about it. They get along well. They all fit in here nicely. And I like it better than the ring situation. So if you have our playbooks, I have been recommending those little mats for a long time. So many of you may have already tried this trick, but if you've never heard me say it, I just wanted to tell you this is a fantastic way of getting these little photo crops. And the reason why I'm going to now demonstrate. Here's one of the pads that I bought. Sometimes these pads have fantastic papers with really cool images instead of a repeating pattern. Like, for instance, if you bought paper that had a pattern like this does not matter. Anywhere you cut, you're just going to get something similar. But this pattern is super special. So I would really want to eyeball what am I going to get if I put my crop here versus what would the card look like if it was here? Because I want to determine what that card is going to look like in advance. Am I going to have room to put my quote? If the quote's sitting about right here, what's going to compete with it? Do I have room for my honey? That kind of thing. Oh, look, here's a quote already. Is that going to be a problem? Do I have room to put my quote? This actually wouldn't be too bad, I think. Right here, there's a the car is right here. I actually would cover that over. Do what makes you happy is one of those quotes that feels a little cliche. It's not impactful enough for me personally. I would want to like bump that up. So I would use that space. I either cover that over with a honey or put my own quote there. So you get what I'm saying. That is the benefit of using a photo crop like this is to be able to eyeball where the papers like this that are not a repeating pattern where you would get the most bang for your buck. Here's another type of paper. It has this kind of wave is kind of crashing over the shore. What kind of look will I get if I am cropping it? Like here would be an example of what that would look like if I did it. And then I put my quote here across the top. What would that look like if a honey was sitting there? So I kind of get to um I kind of get to test before I cut my paper and ruin it. Because some of these papers, the really special ones, you only get one or two sheets in these pads and that's it. So once you cut it, you've cut it. And the size of this paper would make a really lovely divider. So I want to make sure, really sure, that I am making a really good decision on whether or not that's the right move. So here's the one that I really, really loved. I bought this pad mostly for one, well, actually more than one. Like here was an example. I love this pattern. It's very busy. So I think it's one of those things you kind of have to use. I don't know that this card project would be the best use of it because it's so busy, but I don't know. So that would be an example of how that it's kind of hard to tell on camera, isn't it? Kind of hard to see. Okay, so let's keep looking. So here's an example of placing it over. I know you guys are get the gist, and I'm sure some of you have already messed around with these type of tools and you're familiar. So this type of thing, like look how you can get a certain look if you turn it this way. The kind of like burst is about right here, so it's coming out. You can turn it this way and you get the burst about right here. And then I can slide it over. So I can change the orientation of where this starts anywhere I want. So I can slide that down and make it come about right there. So this is about like, where does my eye really, really want to see the orientation of this? Because that right there is everything. That's where everything is like shooting out from. And then what about that do I want to take advantage of? Do I want to put something there? Because normally how I like to use the honeys, which is why the half C kind of format is so perfect for this, is I love putting the honey at the bottom of the card. So that's what I plan on doing. So this little spot right here, either I would put an embellishment here or do nothing. I don't have to put anything in the center. I mean, but where it shows up on the card is also kind of interesting. And then where she is, and then where the quote lies, and how do I want to lay that quote out. So this is one of the things I wanted to cut. And I think, like, to me, that would be very weak, is having it so high up on the card. I feel like the rule of thirds is really at play here, is you'd want it to be about a third of the way in to get the most out of it, which is about right there. So, and then asking me the question is like, do I want this cool paper over in it versus these papers? What side? These are my favorite two colors together. So like which group do I want more? Do I want this more than that? So this just gives you all the flexibility to be able to ask yourself those questions because now you can see what you're doing. Using like a cardboard template or chipboard, you are totally going in blind. You can't see what you're doing. Here is another print that I absolutely love. Another thing, and I'm going to show you this with the bigger paper. So I just wanted to show you the little pads. The other thing I mentioned about these paper pads, which is ideal, is how much smaller the this pattern is. It's completely scaled down um, for the size of the paper. If you look at this print in a 12 by 12, the pattern is way larger. So that is the biggest selling point of these smaller pads is because they're to scale, which is perfect for a small format like this. So I've shown you the pads. So let me show you my larger. Let me see here. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of the paper that I um, quarantined. I went through my paper stash. As you can see, I have done this before. These are from like making my um, pocket cards. Like when I go and make all my paper in advance, I chop all my cards down to like the 3x3 pockets, the 4x4s, the 2x2s, the 3x4s. Like I love to have my paper choices all pre-cut. So that's what I end up with when I've cut already, is I have papers like this. So I quarantine these type of papers that are already cut up, and these become the first thing I reach for. And let me just remind you, this is exactly why I say that paper is the best supply that money can buy as far as like for decorating, because you get so much out of a sheet. This is a 12 by 12 and it's provided so many different projects. So this is a preference of mine. When I go to cut, I love the little strip at the bottom. I feel like it gives just this little quirkiness to it. It's just a little different. I love to include one of my squares or rectangles to include that. Even the little strip with the marketing on it, I really love that. And it says 2017 here. So I'm going to flip this over so it's curved here. So I'm just going to cut, cut, and cut again. So I got a rectangle out of that, which is going to join its friends. So you can see what a fun rectangle that is. It has the fun little marketing strip on it. It has like a little quirkiness to it. A honey's going to look so fun, popping up with her own, color story. So I'm going to pick the right honey for the job based on the colors that are already present in the paper. Sorry, my camera doesn't want to. So like that honey right there on the end she's a good candidate. The honey in the yellow dress is a good candidate, or maybe just even contrast it. So that would be an example. And then when I have stuff like this little edge, because that's to me, this is going to get torn, I will just trim that off. And then this would be an example because to me, that's considered a strip. This is something that will go into the strip box. So this is all my strips from all the paper that I have cut up. And now I have strips for collaging. So this is how my papers start becoming smaller and smaller. And I just start snipping them off and putting them into smaller containers that will be turned into other things. Also, can I just tell you guys, I was going through some of my ephemera last night, and I had bought a pack that had these little um, jukebox labels, and I found Footloose in there, which was so cool. And what's the other one? This one stood out. Oh, and this one. These are so iconic Gen X songs. Because I remember when Push It came out. Let's see. I was a junior. I felt like I was a junior in high school. And then Footloose, I was much younger. So anyway, I think I was like 12. Think I was 12 when that came out. So anyway, I found those in here. But they are strips, and although they're technically ephemera, they're not really just like patterned paper. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to toss them in here and treat them like they're just strips and see like how I can incorporate them. If I want a collage or something, I will just like see if I can use it as a collage element. So I just tossed them in my little strips box. So that is how my paper starts to shrink down into smaller pieces. So that would be an example there of that one shrinking down. This is like a little mini workshop here. So this is a craft market sheet of paper. This is very old school. This is a 2014. This is to me, this is at the height of the crate paper, just having the most exquisite collections. They just stole my heart with craft market. So for me personally, I would probably cut this up in a lot of places, but I think that cutting this where it's right here centered on the money, I think that would just be one option that could be very delicious, especially if I could find the right honey that could fit right here. And this could stay centered and she could stay without being a problem. Like she would fit without needing to be adjusted. I mean, I guess it would be okay if she got cut off on the side. It wouldn't be the worst thing. You know how I do? We'll just cut a honey. So like there would be an example like bathing suit honey, she might need to have her arm cut. That's just what we do around here. And then there's this honey looking all demure. That's our pantsuit honey. Like she might work there. So some of our honeys actually have like she's got ledger paper as her pattern. So she might actually be really appropriate here. I wish she was facing the other way. She's kind of facing away. Sometimes you have to really work with your honeys, like find the right honey facing the right way, wearing the right outfit. Sometimes I might have to actually go with the other honey sheet, but this is I'm just gonna cut and I'll find the honey that works because I know visually I want craft market to be centered. I want it to be the center of the story, and hopefully I'm doing my thing where I eyeball because who needs a ruler? In all the workshops I have taught at, I I have I have always been so impressed with all of the women who are have multiple rulers, paper cutters, all of those things, and I am just the laziest crafter in the world. I just eyeball everything. I'm honest. I say I'm a lazy crafter, and I just tell people if you saw the edges of my stuff, you would see how crooked everything is. But I live with it. I accept it. I accepted it very early on. Do I want to be perfect or do I just want to create stuff? Do I want to like be concerned about my edges or and stress about getting everything perfect angles, or do I just want to go with the flow? So I accept that. I do not judge anybody for using a ruler. I just want to make that clear. I just noticed that that was something saw very prevalently, that there's a lot of ladies with rulers and paper trimmers, and I don't really know how to use a paper trimmer very well. I don't they don't work well for me. So I think by default I've had to just embrace imperfection. It's not because I think I'm better. It's just because Just too lazy. I'm too lazy to learn. Okay. That's the truth. And I know that some of you actually have been at my workshops, like Miss Dawn. So you guys may have experienced my laziness firsthand. All right. This paper is prettier in real life than I could have imagined. I bought 2 sheets. I wish I had bought like 10. It is my color palette. I love the blushes, the oranges, the peaches, the pinks, the mustard. Oh, it's just divine. It has the interesting little kind of strip at the bottom. I love that it says sweetest. I love the ephemera that's all layered around. It's just divine. Um, I want to say when I saw it on the website, this is actually what I saw displayed, and I was buying it for this, believe it or not, which does not do anything for me. So I'm trying to remember. It's almost like there was a different Cori that day ordering stuff. And I think sometimes I think to myself, self, you have to break out of your rut and try different things. So there are elements in here that are interesting, like this kind of like this is interesting and more my style, but I'm not really this girl. This isn't me. But oh my Lanta. Maybe I did see this. Maybe I'm just forgetting. I don't know. I just can't believe a world in which I wouldn't have bought more of this. I'm not sure. I can't say. So, so here I got my little slidey thing, and I'm trying to figure out how do I take advantage. I like the idea of putting the word all the way to the right, like so. I love an offset. This one doesn't feel like something you want to center. I feel like it wants to be a little more offset, maybe about right there. And then, and then I want to get a good look at the whole thing. Like, what am I getting? I'm getting a little bit of this blush pink, white, this, is this going to give me a good background? I can see myself putting what color wants to be here. There is no other color in the world. Okay, I'm going to give you guys, let's do a little test. I've talked many times about colors. What color would you guys say belongs with this little swatch right here? Hi, Miss Jenny. Good to see you again. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Apparently my laughter on the audio causes the video to not like it, and it starts to freak out. It starts chopping it up a little bit. So yeah, so I'm so sorry about that for the replay club. You might uh, get a chunk missing of your audio there. Let me repeat back what Joy just shared with us because it's hilarious. Because I just thank you for reminding me of this joke. One of my favorite tips you ever gave us, Cori, was when we when we don't like a page in a journal, bury the body. Oh, Joy, thank you for reminding me of that tip. That is such a great tip, and it has served me well. Um, if you guys recall, do you guys recall the whole bury the body tip? Oh my goodness. Am I is past Cori cracking up present Cori? I think so. All right. Let me just show you what Joy is talking about. If you were not there, uh, or to have no idea. Okay. So Tracy Ross Harris. Fabulous, right? Okay. Let's just pretend you hated this page. I know it's not possible. Love this page so much. This is one of the first times I tried out my technique, and I love it. I love it. I love this page. But let's just pretend Cori hated this page. I'm embarrassed. Oh my gosh, this didn't turn out at all the way I hoped. Instead of ripping it out, because let's say on the back of it you love what you did. Okay, let's just say you love what you did, but you can't stand this. You glue this, glue it, and then you smash it and you bury the body, right? Oh, that's probably not a very good analogy. I didn't expect there to be a human being right there. All right, let's try that again. Let's pretend she is not there. Okay. Okay. Here's a good example. I hate what I was doing here. I shouldn't have done this. I glue, and then I smash it together. See, look, and then no one ever sees it. I just keep switching the pages around, and then look, it's like it never happened. That's how you bury the body. It's a lot of weird things on this show. I honestly, why are you guys here? Why do you guys come back? I make so many, I don't know. Are these jokes inappropriate? Should I change the rating on my channel? I don't know if my channel's family friendly. Oh, okay. All right. You guys were actually answering me, and now I need to get back. Okay. So Turk. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Right. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Joyce says that she bought a bunch of this paper when it first came out. Excelente. Okay. Uh, Bonnie spied my ring. Yes, this is the ring. I love this little ring so much. It was totally an impulse buy, but I am so glad that I did. It was made by a Japanese artist. It is just the cutest little ring in the world. I love it so much. Okay. It's such a weird little ring, I know. Okay. Okay, so the answer was, and I see some of you answered it correctly. Now, to be fair, this is very subjective, okay? There really there isn't a I guess to be fair, it isn't a right answer. It's a right-ish answer. If you want to be tonal, you could go with the mustard girl. You could go with the peachy girl. You could even go with the stripy girl. But if you were Cori, if you were feeling me, you would go with this girl, or this girl all day long. You would want her to stand out against the background. This gorgeous turquoise is just like pop, pop, poppity, pop, pop, pop. But that's not to say the others are wrong. Actually, even she would be okay because she's wearing the color story here. There's actually there's these two right here, this one right here. These are really She's not even terrible. These right here are probably the ones that wouldn't work. She's kind of not the strongest one in the bunch, but you've got a lot of options here actually. But if you're Cori, you're going with turquoise. This screams for turquoise. You want that honey to be like in the spotlight. That's what you're gonna get. You bring the other girls, the blushy girl. It's not a bad choice. I'm not saying it's wrong. She's just going to harmonize. You're going to get harmony, but if you want your honey to shine, you want to go with the contrast. So harmony, contrast, harmony, contrast. Okay. All right. Our little lesson's over. Now, let's let's keep going because we're going to have a 5-hour live. Okay. All right. I feel like I have a sneeze coming on. Okay, Annie says because we are also like that, and I'm assuming Annie is speaking to the weirdo comment that I made earlier about why are you guys back here? Why do you guys put up with me? It's because you're also like that, Annie says. So Annie's speaking on behalf of all of you when she says that. So some of you are a bunch of weirdos. Some of you are very gracious and tolerant. You probably have socially awkward children. So you're used to it. Uh, and some of you just, you're here for the crafting, you're here for the fellowship, and you just kind of, maybe some of you mute me. Okay. And then I'm not a big, huge fan because this is like a little, but if this wasn't so, I mean, some of you might like this though. I don't know. I don't love it, but some of you might like it. But do you see how that's kind of like fun when you include this? I this makes my heart sing. It makes my heart sing. I oh, you scared me. You scared me bad there, sir. Jeez.
Just ignore me.
I'm sorry. When you're gonna create a flow, you can't have this big hairy arm reach you reach into your personal space. And I feel like I have a sneeze that wants to come out here. So I apologize in advance, girls. Okay, so here, wow, that is really beautiful. Oh, even if I can't get a quote on that. Oh, and that's the other thing I want to mention. Some of these cards, you can just make cards because they're gorgeous. You don't even have to put a quote on it. If you just want to make eye candy cards, just saying, just make a card you love. That's totally fine. It's tough, because sometimes you can make something go, wow, I felt inspired in that moment. I really loved it. And then you're just admiring something you made. Okay, so I think I already cut the card that came with this paper. So I'm just, at this point, I'm just gonna take this paper out of here. And here's another example of a busy paper. This also came from that really big haul. Oh, I'm so over all these hauls on YouTube. That was not a haul, but it was kind of an unboxing. I just refreshed some supplies. So here's an example. Here's Mr. Birdie. Here's another one. So this paper, look at all the options you have when you're looking with your crop. It's like pretend your crop is like a monocle. You're Mr. Peanut, Mrs. Peanut, Mrs. Crafty Peanut. So you're like, give yourself all of these like, options looking at this paper of like how you can get the best out of your crafting. Like you could get this little feather in here, and then, even thinking about how I mean, or whatever your muse happens to be. So there's all kinds of like female stickers or stamps, or not, or whatever. It doesn't have to be a female. There's all kinds of images you could use here to put here in this little spot. So one thing I love using, let me think about, do I have some out? I love using the yearbook photos. Here's an example of one that I have, like this one. I put little stars in her hair, but I could have trimmed her out of her photo so it was just her. Let me Okay, I'm gonna try and zoom. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't know what I did there. Okay. So I don't know. Okay. So I have these little gold foil. That's why they're what you're seeing is little gold foil stars in her hair. So imagine if I had cut her out and then she was kind of framed with this feather behind her, and how cool that could be as an example. So you could take photos of like people, your mom, your aunt, your aunties. You could look at some of the elements and kind of incorporate actual photos in them. I was showing you guys in my unboxing that I had all of those pictures that came from the Tim Holtz collection. Just one moment. Okay, so like he had they did this little collection of these little like photos, for instance, if you wanted to um like you could Tim Holtz has this collection of these type of things, uh photo strips. They kind of made them look like they're in a photo booth kind of look. But as you can see, like you could even trim them out so they're just not even in that background, and then kind of position them on an element like that in your paper. Um and add them in there. So it doesn't have to be a honey. It could be one of these images. Some of these are just so interesting and artistic looking. Imagine like some of the stories. Like I was thinking about this. I actually went through these pictures and looked at them, trying to imagine you know what were the circumstances that some of these photos were even taken. they're clearly in an era where they're wearing their little I'm guessing some of these were taken in an era like maybe the Depression, the 20s, where you have like farmers, people that are they don't probably have even like fancy clothes to get dressed up in the way we might do if we were taking photos. So it's just kind of interesting looking at pictures of other people's lives and imagining what their lives were like. I'm really glad I bought these. I love even the imagination that it causes, like it stimulates my imagination and makes me think about these are actual people and they led lives and what were they like. It could cause you to have a little story that you make up for them, and some of them are just so precious. Look at these two they might be friends or sisters, just people. I have no idea where they got all these photos from. I'm guessing they're not in a copyright situation. So anyway, so just thinking about like looking at your papers, and that's what's so neat about that's 49 Market Street and then Vicky Booten are the two brands that I really noticed like really put a lot of effort into making them look so face cam looks so layered and kind of mixed media to start with, which for those of us who don't know how to do those kind of techniques, you kind of start with, a cool background. So now you're just kind of adding the simple elements on top, and that can just give you such an interesting little mix of cards because we're going to be using humble index cards, but now you get to mix in other interesting papers. So I wanted to show you um, how you can kind of zhuzh up your cards and have a mixture of different things in there. So, um, so I'm going to go back to my top down. Okay, so here's what I have as far as my papers go. So I'm going to just show you sorry, I probably should have done this ahead of time. I should have done this ahead of time. So sorry. Hold, please. Okay. So let's just pretend all of my cards are kind of, in a little collection, and I'm going to show you when I'm done. So I have like this little card, and then this will be zhuzhed up with stuff on it, and then this one, and then this, and then this one, and this, and this, and this, and that one, and that one. Pre-cut some of my papers ahead of time. That's the wrong one. That one, sorry. And then that one. So another type of thing you can do with your cards too to zhuzh them up. If you have vintage papers, like I love buying packs of ephemera. Another thing I purchased from the paper basket on Etsy was a bunch of pre-cut little, excuse me, ephemera, this really fantastic like ledgers and all kinds of stuff like this. It's too thin to kind of like cut it up into 3x5s and on its own, way too thin. But I don't have a problem with gluing it to an index card. Yeah, it's so thin that having a little extra weight behind it is a good thing. So how I would remedy this Um, and personally, the lines on it, I don't really care. I've done it with blank pages and um, writing on lines and writing on no lines. So to me, the lines are sort of irrelevant. You might love your lines. Because you feel more confident writing on them because of your writing. And I want to show you that too is what I do with that. There is a way to do these that don't involve your writing, but I would encourage you to use your writing on some of your cards. You don't have to do it with all of them, but try to write out some of them because one day your family will inherit these cards perhaps, especially if you spend, if you really enjoy this craft and you make more of them. And let's just say you don't toss them out. And let's say you have them. They're in your collection of stuff. I know this is hard to believe, whereas you may not love your handwriting, but your family isn't going to feel that way when they see your handwritten notes and little cards. They're not going to be like, "Oh my gosh, my mom had the worst handwriting." That's that's not going to be on their mind when they're looking at your little notes. Is that on your mind when you look at notes from your grandmother? Or, well, okay, to be fair, our grandmothers, they actually had lovely handwriting because prior prior generations were taught how to handwrite, and I think after the Gen X generation everybody kind of went downhill because we were taught how to handwrite too. I think we started. Oh, okay. I'm being, it's a Mark is announcing himself now. Good job. Good job. So I feel like I am a hybrid of handwriting and printing, as maybe some of you are. My mom is very much um, she's very much a scripty person, but she also went to secretary school and learned shorthand. And I think that is just like a very I feel like that's a training thing. Like she's really kept that ingrained in her. She's just very a scripty person, whereas I've gotten away from it. So look, how that's just become like a cool little. This paper is just way too thin on its own, but it is fantastic for this project. I'm going to keep this in my little paper box. So this goes really fast. These are just options. That doesn't mean you have to craft on them. It's just kind of fun to have options for crafting. I like this paper may not necessarily hold up on its own, but backing it with a heavier duty cardstock card would be ideal. So here's, guys, remember this paper when we were kids, like drawing on it with our crowns and stuff? That's so fun. Okay, so this paper is shorter than my card. So I was actually going to turn it this way, which puts the numbers going the opposite way, which is kind of fun. So it's kind of like I'm making my own little set of cards that I will just grab from when the mood strikes. You could make your own set of little quote cards as a gift for somebody. Like if you have a kid going off to college, or a girlfriend that you want to encourage, a grandchild. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, all the younger kids are so analog, but I would like to think that they would appreciate that. But I'm personally making this for myself. You could make it for yourself. That's a nice gift, right? Here's that dot matrix paper. The dot matrix paper. Why does this? Aha! Look at that. Me thinketh I glue it that incorrectly. Okay, that did not work out. So, okay, what do I do? What do I do? I'm gonna rip it. I'm gonna try that again. Okay, how are we doing on time? Okay, I'm an hour in, and I just getting the cards, the foundational part done. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Let me get my notes back here. Keep myself on track. So I was supposed to cut one rectangle. I've clearly gone over my own notes. Okay, but look how fun these are. So I have these to mix in. So here's some extra little fun stuff to mix in with my others. Okay, so these will get mixed in with just plain cards, which will not be plain for long. So, like, you can have eye candy cards that just have no quotes on them. They're just for fun. Like, they're just to have extra little, you could treat them like a divider if you wanted. Where's the cap? Where's my cap? Cap. Not seeing my cap. Hmm. Hmm. Uh-oh. That's yikes. That's never a good thing when the crafter loses their glue stick cap. Wait, how did that how did that happen? Didn't I just say I lost my cap? Wow. Okay, my eyes are playing tricks on me. I must have put the cap on, and did that happen? Did you guys see me put the cap on and then I still thought I didn't have the cap on it and then I started looking? Oh my goodness. What is this channel going to look like 5 years from now? It'll be entertaining on a whole new level. That's okay. A lot of you will be right there with me. Okay. Um, let's move on. Let's move on. There you go, Cassie. I would have sworn that I misplaced the cap and that it was not on here. And I looked down and it's on there. So that is just the strangest thing. All right. So we're moving on despite my brain. Add vintage paper. Okay, I've shown you all the foundational things. Now let's move on to quotes. So I have some quotes here. I printed them out ahead of time onto sticker paper, which I always recommend if you um, have been with me in my camps and workshops. I always steer you guys towards using the $5 photo paper for cardstock, using it instead of cardstock. And if you're going to be um, printing out, um, if you're going to be printing out things to make for stickers like word strips or any of like the honeys, printing them directly onto the sticker paper, like the matte sticker paper, is always a good idea. Like all the digital stuff. If you um, can use the matte sticker paper, which Avery makes great matte sticker paper, the full sheet stuff. But this is what I have. So I use Word to do it, and I make sure to give myself space in between so that I can turn these into the little fortune cookie strip kind of word strip style. The other way of doing it is to turn it into like a little word block, just making like a chunk like this. So like just making just one single little block on your card. Although I don't love that, but I do think it would also be more it would work better for a really busy card like this. It would stand out. See how that stands out? If I cut this into little strips so that there was pattern in between the text, it probably visually would not stand out the same. So you're giving your eyes somewhere to rest, and now the words are clearly standing out, and you can still do something with this little white block. You can outline it. You can add some little stitching. You can still embellish it to make it look like a little frame. There's still excellence, an opportunity for excellence here. But that's what I would use a text block for, is if you have a busy background. But if you have something like this, the little strips are perfect for that. So the index card is something that if you're using the little lines, you have something to keep your writing very straight, which is very nice. So let me give you a couple examples of, I just showed you one, but let me give you a couple examples of other cards that I have done in the past. These I probably did in 2016. They are still blank. I have not used them. I just love looking at them. So, these cards I made so that like everything was like off to one side so that I had this space available. So you can design your cards so that your artwork is on one side and then everything is over here. So when I did these, I kind of had a formula in my head where I was like, the artwork sits over here, and then I put a strip of washi over here, and then maybe some little extra doodad. So here's the place for text that I would write. And then let me show you another example. Here's another example of that. So I staggered them back and forth. So here's the artwork on this side, and then here's the washi on this side. And then I was really into putting little tabs on them, which I absolutely love. They're so delicious. And then stamp, stamp, stamp. So I had like a little recipe, so to speak. Here's another example is, do you guys remember this is Escape to Paradise, the little cute little girl in the um, bikinis, and there's a little monster. It makes no sense. It makes no sense, but I thought it was so fun. So I made so many cards, like just one after another, just one after another. Boom, boom, boom. I've made um I probably made 150 of these. I- Crazy. Um, so you will see them. They will be part of a little workshop, a little project. But I wanted to show you just to give you an idea of setting up your card. So whether you can put things on one side or the other side, you can decide how you want to do that. And then you also have the option of mixing in cards. So they're not all index cards. If you like to have like a little blend and you want to have a little extra eye candy in there. Not to say obviously, like I think this is eye candy too. So like if you know, like I don't know if you can tell, but there's actually scrapbook paper in the background of this particular card. So I did put some scrapbook paper on part of the card to create like a little what do you call that? Like a little canvas back there. So like part of it is here, like about that much of a canvas. Um so anyway, let us let us see. Okay, so it's been a while since I've done this. And now that I've been yapping, um so so making quotes in the same font for consistency. So when I do all my quotes, I do try to use one font. So I would pick out one font that you really love, 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 so that when you have your whole collection of cards, whatever you choose to do, whether it's scripture or positive quotes or lyrics, that kind of thing, that they all have a consistent look to them. Uh, the exception to that is adding in your own handwriting. I think having both is a nice blend. I think it's consistent. Um, and not just consistent but cohesive. And then the other thing that I got from that unboxing, these were those little sewn strips that I was showing you guys. So I kind of unboxed and uh, organized all my little embellishments. So they're all in here. My special embellishment box that I would be very careful with. So I have some new stuff to play with, new stuff to work with. And then I have my little tab punch for punching any paper to make new uh the new tabs. And then I don't know if you guys were aware, but we also sell tabs in our shop right now. There were two sets. There's Meaningful and Adored that we never ever sold them until recently. And they're like, there's ones that have like gold foiling. So they're really like, they're beautiful. And then they have like there's the double fold type. So these are like tabs you can use for doing planners. They are designed so that you have like a full set so that you can do, as you can see, like this. See, there's like a full set of these. So you could do your whole planner in a matching, like I planned it out so that you could do a disc bound, sorry, not disc bound, a subject, five ring, not five ring. When you have a, what is that called? An A5 ring bound planner. Sorry, it's been a while. And it fits about five of these going down the side. That's what they were designed. So you have a full set of this pattern, a full set of like six different patterns. So this is like the Meaningful collection, this one. But you can mix and match them. Like this is my one of my favorite patterns of all time. So I'm just pointing it out because if you don't have a punch, this is a punch though is that's really fun to have. It's the Memory Keepers tab punch. But we do have these fantastic. Oh, Mark says the tabs are actually sold out. Okay. So don't listen to me, but I'm going to grab a couple of them that I really like. I did not know that. I, hmm, I wonder if we had grabbed all the punch or, yeah, all the tabs that we actually had. Okay. Okay. So they do have multiple tab punches on Amazon now. Before it was like this one was the only one that they had on the market, but now there's multiple. If you have our paper punch buffet, like the printables that we've always sold, this is the tab punch that matches that with the little shoulders, which is what these are all based on this tab punch. They are identical to it. This is the We Are Memory Keepers, which I believe is still available for purchase. But these are it's so fun to add little tabs to your cards. I am not adding them today though because I want to scan some of these. These are going to be part of the Lucky Dip printable that's going out to my friends in the clubhouse who are the pillar members. But I don't know, given that it's 5:22, I don't know how many anyone will actually see. I will probably be doing a lot of them off camera. Surprise. Okay. So what do I want to do? Okay, so I think I'm going to use when you don't know where to start, I'm going to be an example right here. So, I'm going to I'm going to inspire myself, okay? When you don't know where to start, it's good to have like a tickler file. You can use your and you can use like you can go to Pinterest for this. I have could cajillion Pinterest boards set up in different genres of crafting, which is a big reason why we do that, right? Is so that you have somewhere to like jumpstart your own projects. But I also suggest you look at some of the stuff that you love. Look at your own work. So this particular project, the reason why I keep this box here with me is because I really love some of the stuff that I made. And it was kind of this whole project started because I had been in a drought, a craft drought. I was not creative at all. I lost all of my creative mojo. I used to show up for the late night crafty club and felt like I have no idea what to make. I have no idea what to craft. I feel like the crafty playbook was sort of an answer to that dilemma because I'm trying to think, I think the crafty playbook actually came after this project. These cards saved me. These cards came because I broke through my little crafty drought. Because I sat down and just started playing with my stuff for the first time on my own by myself. Just, okay, I'm just going to sit here and play until something good happens. So that is what happened. I'm gonna actually take some of this paper because this paper is very inspiring. So eventually that playbook became it became one of the things that uh, came from being inspired by doing all of this. It became the thing that realized that, like, there's so many ladies who love the idea of crafting. They really would craft if they didn't have to stare at that blank page. This is actually what kind of birthed the the playbook is this. Having I put this book together myself. It's full of like mixed media paper and other types of papers. I made it and then I was like, it's so painful to look at this blank page all the time. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. And so I decided that I wanted to come up with a book that had some stuff in it that was already like an activity book for grown-up girls, so that it would be easy for you to like jumpstart, and then you could just add pages to it, or be crafty with it as you felt inspired. So these little cards, they saved me. They got me out of my little crafty slump. And I think the reason why is because there's so little that it's like they gave me permission to experiment on such a little uh canvas. They're so tiny that it's kind of hard to I'm trying to now that I have this cut. I don't love it as much as I thought I would. And that's okay. If you don't love it, move on to something you do love. I'm determined to actually show you the index card instead of, like, I really want to use the scrapbook paper that I cut, but the point of this exercise is to show you other the other thing. So I'm going to cut part of this is going to be this paper because this is what I would normally do. Okay, so I'm going to make myself a little half canvas. And you don't have to do it in this manner that I'm doing it, and you don't have to do it with the lines. You can do it on the blank side as well. You don't have to put this down first. That was my little recipe. That's how I started doing it. I really liked that method, especially if I planned on um, the the index card works really great if you plan on writing your own out. This would work really well if you wanted to use like a white gel pen and then write it out if you wanted to, or use the strips. But I wanted to show you some options. You could do a little card. Oop, there's the people who do the 100-day project. This is definitely a favorite craft in the 100-day project. There's, I think it's called ICAD, the index card a day. That's been on the interwebs for years. So we have a little small challenge going on right now that I sort of entered, like I just kind of showed you briefly in the last live stream, called the little the crafty calendar, just showing you how to fill in the boxes of your monthly calendar. It's like a warm up, because I thought, hey, maybe we'll try to incorporate other little projects going forward, whether it was like this or doing something like listers or something, or an adaptation of listers. But I have wanted to introduce this project, and I would love to do it within like a camp or retreat where we do a bunch of these type of things. I have a lot of ideas to show you of how, like, what purpose that they would serve. So um stay tuned, friends. Okay, so I am going to So like this little guy, I really like the way that looks. Did I say I wasn't going to add this? So I'm not going to add it right now because I have to scan it and it'll make it so hard for people to cut out if I do. Rats. I think, yeah, I think that they would not appreciate having that to have to cut out. It will make it too hard. But that's what I'm going to do with mine after the fact is have this little tab. And that looks so cute when it's all done. Okay, so, all right. So let us let us look at our contestants, who we want. And I want to get one of the honeys down on this background. And I think we'll go with the honey first, and then we'll decide which quote, or is it the other way around? So, what are the honeys I said were kind of hard to work with? Maybe I should grab one of them. Her outfit is a little tricky. Um, her outfit is very like she needs to be on something that is like she's got a solid white shirt on. Okay, let's pull somebody off here. So she is on something like this. Okay, so I'm gonna go with her about right there. So she will look more dynamic with her little arm hanging off the edge. If I put her all completely within, not as fun. She's a little bit more exciting with her little megaphone off the page, right? Because she's got more movement. So now we have this kind of like color story that's more subdued. She definitely is sort of blending. We've got this kind of creamy yellow, and she's her this kind of megaphone and her little shirt is kind of blending in with the base of this trim. And so we want to bring a little pop into her card. Uh, Teresa is asking about my container. Mark, Mr. Speaker, this came from, I believe this came from Amazon. I know it did. That's the only place I ever shop. Um, Pretty much, unless it's scrapbook materials. So what I want to do with her is I want to find something that's contrasting to kind of like pop. So I often will pick something in the red family or pink, something that's gonna like contrast against her. This is one of my favorite washies. I'll be so sad when I don't have it anymore. I've probably had this little washi since like 2014. 2015. Oh, it looks like it's really low. Here's my TRG washi. Um, okay, and this is another favorite. So I'm gonna hold it up against who is my candidate. Love this one too. These two look so stunning together. Those are two favorites. Like I can show you right here. Like they look amazing together. Amazing. So that's the best of that color story together. I love that. That one's kind of weak. That one's really bold. Then I have this stripy one. So not sure. There's this color story. Okay, I'm gonna actually try this one. This washi, this is another one I've had for years. I cannot remember, but the quality of it is awful. It comes like, look, it just shreds off. I don't even know if I'll be able to get some off here. I doubt it. I don't even know if it's the point of even holding on to it if you can't get it to come off the roll. Should you hold on to pretty eye candy washi if it will not come off the roll? That is the question. Please discuss in the chat. Hello to all of you who are showing up to the live. I appreciate you being here, all my friends. And for those of you who are joining, so it is kind of unusual for me to do a midweek live at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm just going to give you a little backstory. Why did I pick 4 o'clock? I'm actually on the West Coast, so for a lot of people, they're still at work here. Um, but Mark and I did a little test one day, and we discovered that like 80% of our customer base is actually East Coast. That was a little surprising. And so we started in the clubhouse during like last year, all last year. We started doing 4 o'clock live streams after we discovered that. And it seemed like that kind of increased attendance on live streams, and which was what we were attempting to do, because our East Coast friends, obviously the majority, it was kind of late for them to be midweek jumping in so much later. So I always want to see how that looks. Um, it's really pretty. I mean, the color story here is gorgeous. I love this palette, but it is too tame. I really like things that kind of like kaboom, like are really bold together. So I'm gonna keep looking, looking, looking. Um, Still looking. I, uh, I don't know. Are all my decisions as painful? No, but I really want to love my card because I will be looking at this card a lot. I don't want to be distracted by like thoughts in my head, like, oh, I wish I had done this. I wish I had done that. So there's another option. I don't, I do not dislike that. So that is why we decided to start doing 4 o'clock lives because it's 7 o'clock on the East Coast. That's after dinner for a lot of people. And I wanted to see how that worked because I would like to try to do more live streams for the creative reset. And Wednesday, Wednesday at 4 o'clock works for me. And I wanted to see how the attendance worked. Hmm. I like it. I think I need a different tab though, ultimately. I don't think those are the right tabs for this one, but I do like it. Okay, so I'm gonna just move my washi out of the way. And I'm gonna look in here because I want to use one of my little favorite. Oh, also this little thing has a very shallow tray. So this is very shallow, and then it has a much deeper well in here for. I put more special embellishments in here. I have these like little tickets and a lot of ephemera that's kind of more uh color specific or very vintagey specific stuff I really wanted to keep track of. Let's put it that way. So I'm gonna look in here for something that's more special, which is why I bought this stuff. Is like I really wanted to have some very unique or special things. I'm gonna I That's my favorite. I probably bought like 3 packs of these to replenish my supply. These are also super fun. I just love the simplicity of the kind of the vintage office look. It's just my favorite vibe. But I don't want to subdue it too much. I do want color. I want to make sure I don't lose sight of that. And I do love my little numbers here. So another way to add some color is one of these. And this could be something to include a date on there, and it's another fun way to add color, to add contrast. I'm looking to see if there's anything in this realm that would enhance the color palette or if you have tried out the little crafty calendar challenge, like if and honestly, for a lot of people, when they tried it, they ended up like for some people they'll complete it like in one sitting or two sittings. It's a very fast. Um, actually, I did mine in two sittings, maybe three. I'm actually looking for it right now so I can. I showed it to you guys on the last live stream. Um, don't I don't have it easily to show you. So this might be something to just get you going on just a little daily craft habit. Is something very small, a very small little project. The Pocket Art Challenge is another example um, of doing something that's very small. Uh, that's why I love the Pocket Art Challenge is that it has a small canvas. I'm looking in my sticker collection right now, by the way. Um, looking at my little circles. These are also another option of adding some color. I'm just trying to find the right mix here. One thing I really liked doing with this project was adding like texture to it. I was not afraid to add like three-dimensional texture, which was fun because when you work in a planner a lot, you don't really get to do that. Um, Margaret, I didn't. Uh, she asked if I had mentioned camp. I did not, to my knowledge, bring up camp. I do plan on doing a camp. I'm going to call it a camp-like a camp-like event. Um, but I do want to keep expectations. I do want to keep expectations realistic. So it will be a camp-like experience. But I think what I want to do, I want to try some new things so that it is a doable and something that I can do more consistently instead of do it like once a year. I what I would love to do is I want to try some new things with the Reset Girl. So I would love to try some retreats where we try doing things in little bursts instead of these longer periods of time. So I have some plans to introduce you guys to some some projects and I'm hoping that you guys will be really excited for because I was thinking I like this green. I was thinking one of the things that I think deters people away away from signing up for things is the thought that you're too busy. I'm too busy for that, or I can't justify that because that's a lot of times that's how I think is like I can't justify that, can't justify the time, the resources, the cost. So I wanted to try to make it feel a little bit more practical. Like it's not just a frivolous, fun, campy thing, but it's a project that is more practical and will serve a grand purpose for next year. Something that will um, give you a focus to work on and for the rest of this year, and then you'll have it for the whole next year. So I have a project in mind, but I need to figure out the best way to execute it. Um, I'm spilling all my secrets, but I do want to give you guys a heads up that I am thinking that through. And but of course, it is it's something that I want it to be a fun experience as always. I love planning. Like how can I delight them? How can I make this imaginary experience feel fun and fresh and exciting? So that's my creativity part that I get to do. So, but I want this to feel like something that you're like getting something, you're getting, what's the right way to say it? You're getting something really worthwhile out of it. You know, it's not just like I had so much fun. It's now you have this tool that's going to help you and that you can keep contributing to. It's kind of how much feedback I heard about the Harmony Retreat. Of all the things I've done, that is the one you guys talk the most about how much you loved your Harmony Handbook. I still use it. That is just music to my ears. So I want to make an experience and break it up into smaller chunks so that you don't have this huge time commitment, and I don't have that huge time commitment, and we're doing it in smaller pieces. It's still magical. And then you have this tool that you've invested all this time into that serves you next year. Does that make sense? Let me hear in the chat room and in the comments if that resonates with you. If that sounds like I don't know what you're cooking, but I like the sound of that recipe. That speaks to me because I want I have an interesting audience. Um, it's my audience are like a lot of you are working women and you don't necessarily have a lot of time on your hands. So you have to make a lot of decisions about how you spend your time and your resources. And it's really easy to say, well, I can't, I just don't have time for that. I have plans. But if it were planning or goal setting or something of that nature, I think that there'd be a lot more of like, well, that is something I'm going to get a lot more out of. And it doesn't feel like I just had this fun camp adventure and it was just like a fun thing. You know what I mean? That's how I would look at it because I will be honest, as much fun as my camp sounds, I know this sounds shocking. I personally wouldn't sign up for someone's camp just to have a fun experience. I would sign up for somebody's experience that is goal oriented, that is going to make me create a tool. But then if it is fun, great, awesome. If it's if it's not an ordinary, you get it, girl, then all the better. I don't really want to do a girl boss. You got this. I don't really want to do that experience. I want to do I like my experiences. I think my experiences are fun, they're nostalgic, they're unique, but I want something practical out of it. That for me personally, I would feel like I was just being frivolous if I was just doing something fun. Now I know that sounds shocking. I'm saying that about my own my own thing, but that's me personally. I love putting on the adventure for you. It's my joy. If I could do that every single quarter and that's all I ever did, I would quit everything else I do and I just did that and I could pay all my bills and I could attract more people and that's all I did was just make awesome retreats and camps every single quarter. That's what I would do. They're so much fun. I love dreaming up all that experience and what I'm going to do and what are you guys going to work on and how am I going to curate stuff and what experience am I going to give you guys? That's it's just man, that lights me up. But I recognize it has to have a practical component where it's moving the dial forward for you. It has to because it can't just be wee and playtime for a lot of you. I mean, it just as much as you might like me, it there's part of it that it needs to make sense and because that's those are the type of women I like that are still part of my community but they won't sign up for camp. So I would need to I need to make my camps a little bit more practical but have this lovely frosting that's fun on it if that is. All right. Oh, Kelly Anderson, you the best. She says she's the opposite. Kelly is my go-to for making the fun stuff in my my last couple of camps. Kelly has been so awesome. I have tasked her with giving some extra content and doing some of the fun little workshop extras, and she has just come through gloriously, because there's just some stuff that I don't, you guys can get real sick of me real fast if I'm the only one making some of the content. So I think having you, Kelly, is just a real blessing to be able to say, hey, here, I can get another face involved. I need some other talent involved. Um, so I appreciate that very much. And that is that has definitely been really fun, especially with some of the projects that you have created, like that gorgeous necklace. So some of the stuff that we have done in past camps, like the last one that we did, the Flourish retreat, which a lot of you didn't see because I kept it within the clubhouse. Like I thought that was such a fantastic concept. It was like the future you, your little fabulous older self, like picturing yourself as an older silver haired lady, what would your future self be like? You know, do any of us really think about that? Like deep down, do we think about our future glorious silver hair? I mean, I'm already silver haired, but what are we going to be like as these little elderly ladies? Are we going to be fabulous? Are we going to be little elderly spinsters like the little Tweety Bird grandma? Are we going to be taking care of ourselves? How do we be flourishing? You know, so it was such an interesting like campish concept, and making vision boards and all that kind of stuff, thinking about our future selves. And so I would love to see that kind of roll out for the community, some version of that, maybe in a small little mini retreat workshopy thing. So anyway, okay, so awesome. So quite a few of you are talking about saying that yes, the loved the little harmony handbook. I know that just is such a um that was such a beloved thing, and I would love to see that again as well. And Jenny, she says, I loved camp for the art techniques and skinny dipping with the camp boys. Well, Jenny, I don't know what you're talking about because that didn't happen at my camp. What camp you were at, but my camp is wholesome. And I think one of my favorite camp iterations was the camp that I did in 2020 with the whole 80s theme. I want to bring back an 80s component to the next like campish experience I have, because that was so much fun. We had like 80s trivia. We watched Girls Just Want to Have Fun. That was our movie night. That was so much fun. I just loved that whole 80s vibe. It was I embrace the whole Gen X experience. I've been thinking a lot about that lately. So I just I love bringing up our shared memories and stuff like that. I just think it's a lot of fun. So I have one little girl here. I kind of am hesitant to like put too many thing like quotes on my cards because I do want to scan some of them, and I don't know how much stuff like resonates for other people. So I'm kind of like, I think I would want people to kind of choose the stuff that they put on their cards. So I'm going to put a couple on here. Um, those of you who have read, I've talked about Atomic Habits multiple times. I think it's been in the first camp reset. I put it in godly goals. I know a lot of you have read Atomic Habits. It is a very popular book. So I have that to me one of the most profound quotes about habits here. Um you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So I personally think that's a very great quote. So this is where I'm kind of hesitant. I feel like I want my Lucky Dip members to be able to choose what they put on their cards and not have me dictate that, because quotes are very personal and not all of them are. Tell you what, this is what I'm going to do. Those of you who are Lucky Dip members, I will include the sheet that I made that has some quotes that resonate for me, and you can choose. You can do what I'm doing right now. You can snip them up and attach them to some of the cards that I give you. And if it doesn't speak to you, then you can find something else and do the same thing I did, which is, to pick a font you like and then make your own. Make your own. How's that? I think that's what I'm going to do because I really don't want to make foist foist stuff on you that doesn't speak to you because that stinks. Sometimes I end up with quotes and I'm just like, nah. And then all of the art that I did is kind of like, you know what I mean? It's for naught. So I'm gonna put today's date on this one, June 12th. Oh goodness, please don't let me mess this part up. Okay, so I'm gonna do one here, do this there, and this too. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Timu, and I don't really want to support that brand on this channel whatsoever. Don't want to give them any give them any airtime. Um, okay, so I don't feel like that's done though. Let me see. No, it's okay. I I feel like they're kind of thievery. They rip off a lot of people and they hurt a lot of Etsy sellers. A lot of Etsy sellers are really hurt by them, and a lot of people that started out in the planner community are now getting all their stuff stolen left and right. And I feel really terrible for them. And so I haven't said anything, but I just really want to be careful to I know you guys how what do you call it? Tempting it is because they are just their prices are ridiculous. I totally get it, but I just feel like I don't know. I'm not judging anybody for shopping there, please know that, but I just feel bad for all the people who are just I've watched quite a few YouTube videos of people talking about showing their stuff being stolen. And because that's happened to me on Etsy, people doing that to me in the beginning. Some people on Instagram taking my stuff and they became big accounts and people just I don't know. I just know how it feels and it just makes me feel awful. I feel like some of these companies just go on Etsy and all they do is shop Etsy to steal designs and then rip them off, you know? Like some of this stuff I see like these little stitched things, you watch. Before long you guys will see these offered on sites like Temu. This will be there because they'll figure out that this is like something people like and then they'll start making all these people stitch them and I just think that's super sad and here are all these women just trying to make some money and and then other people somewhere else are trying to make money and I don't know. Rebecca, the Lucky Dip is it's a special yeah, it's a bonus that people get in the clubhouse that opted into the pillar level, the highest level of membership. And every month, whatever I make, I handcraft different items, and then I give them those items as a printable. So whatever it happens to be, sometimes I do it on camera, sometimes it's off camera. But I am not trying to shame anyone or make anyone feel bad for shopping wherever they want to shop. Please know that. I it's just a it it's just I don't know something I've been thinking about, and so I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad for bringing it up. That's not what I am saying. So uh, I try not to bring stuff up about um I don't know, stuff that I feel like has happened to a lot of people. Etsy's gotten real out of control. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. I don't I don't go shop on Etsy very much anymore and I just noticed that a lot of people are really feeling very discouraged there. And it's mostly from what I've been seeing on YouTube actually, people talking about how they really wish that there was just more handmade. Um, I guess it feels different when you're a consumer versus the person creating, and how much effort it takes to create your own ideas and your own stuff, and how much work it takes to make things. And then here comes other people figuring out, oh, this is, American women really love this stuff. Let's just take it. And so that's I don't know, that just, I feel bad for everyone who worked so hard to get where they were at. And then, but everyone loves a good deal. I know. I do. I mean, I love the idea of getting something cheaper. So I got one card, and then I'm going to do a card. I'm going to do this card because that's the one I had my eye on. Okay, so I'm going to I feel like she's kind of small on here, isn't she? It's okay though. Oh, you know what? She looks like she's perfect for this girl right here with the hat. She feels like it. That is true, Michelle. Everybody has an opinion. That is just my opinion. I am just one person, and everyone listening to my voice, you can absolutely disagree with me and feel differently. I am just speaking as somebody who just, is am on the side of the people who make the things to pay the bills. And but I get that, I get how people feel about wanting to save money. So, oh my gosh, isn't that, she's so cute. She's very cute. Um, I really like this because now she looks like she is embodying that whole thing. So remember what I said earlier about how this one would be a little harder to see if it was cut up into strips. So here's the here's the testing of that theory. Is it? Not really. It isn't that bad. I feel like I can see that pretty clearly. That one's pretty cute. There's that. There's this, putting this over here. So like I'm going to trim this and put that there. Okay, so I'm gonna also staple this one because the glue, just in case the glue doesn't hold. I don't know why I think that it won't hold, but just in case. And then I'm gonna also do this. I'm gonna stick this particular quote on here. I am gonna do it because I feel like this quote, I feel pretty strongly about this quote. So maybe this one will be resonate with enough people. I think that beating yourself up to some extent is something that enough people do that it's worth putting it out there. Okay, so here is a question for those of you. Um, Thank you, Miss Angela. For those of you who are in like would be interested in a camp experience, let me know in the chat. Let me know. Have you been missing camp? Are you ready for another camp adventure? Are you ready for anything, any camp that I come up with? Let me know because that's really exciting to me when you guys get excited. because sometimes like I kind of feel sometimes like I'm not sure anymore. I kind of get a little doubt. I get a little bit of self-doubt. Sometimes I don't know. Okay, so this little one right here, I feel like this was meant to be with this card. I feel like it's so cute. Does it want to be here though? I feel like it wants to be here. Now I regret putting this up so high, but I'm gonna forgive myself for what I didn't know. I'm gonna forgive myself for not knowing I should have put that higher or lower, right? Okay. There you go, Miss Heidi. Uh, okay, so I'm gonna put that there. I'm gonna put one of these fabulous little stickers. What's so fun about these little stickery things is that this is one of the things I bought in my little unboxing is I got myself a new set of these little enamel dots. I love the dickens out of these things. Gold is such a fun color here. I actually was pulling it open for the light blue, but what about the gold? Yikes, that's oh my Lanta. Oh my goodness gracious. This gold is crazy. Oh my. Okay. So what I was thinking, Miss Jennifer, is that's kind of why I was thinking of having like these little small events because then it would be that sort of setup time. So giving these little mini things and then we would be working on this book that then you would have next year. So I have a project in mind that I think would be a lot of fun. And I think you would still be able to do the book, even if you decided not to do the camp experience, you would still be able to do work on the book on your own. So that's kind of where my mind is. Oh my goodness. Okay, that is delicious. And the paper did most of the heavy lifting. Is that not, I wish you could see this these are so yummy. Oh my goodness. Okay, I feel like I just need a little bit extra. Okay, I have to tell you guys a little story. So where we are staying right now at this RV campground, the place where we're parked is like we have this big grassy knoll. I wish that we could I wish I had my scroll cam so I could show you. But we have this big grassy area right outside the RV. And I am officially the caretaker of this little grassy area. I have a very, very long hose with two sprinkler heads attached to it. And once the sun starts like moving to the other side of the RV, I go out there and start watering the whole lawn. It has been very interesting. I haven't had a yard in forever, and I certainly am not a yard person. But it is some exercise. It finally gives me a reason to get out of the RV and go outside and do like something. So I take my job very seriously and I'm trying to keep the lawn from dying because it's like over 100 degrees here. And they don't have automatic sprinklers working in this little spot. So I'm literally manually moving the sprinklers around. I have to set an alarm to remind myself to go out there and move them. So it's hilarious. I am the caretaker of the lawn and I am very proud of this. So I felt like I needed to let you guys know. I have a job now. I have an identity. I might live in an RV, but I do have lawn responsibilities. Okay, so now I feel like that is more finished. I don't know why I love that putting those little frames around the strips, but I just feel like they just feel so finished. Miss Susan, these little guys right here come from a store. Okay, if you go to my last live stream, I put the links for all of the pieces. This is actually two different stores, and I told you guys I was going to link them, and then I forgot. But I went back yesterday, or I'm sorry, I went back today and I linked them. So now they're in there. This is one store, and this is a different store. This store is called the Teacher's Table. I cannot remember this store, but these are my favorite embellishment, and I bought 3 packs of these because I love them so much. So, the paper basket is the other store that I showed in that unboxing, and I just simply cannot remember what that store is. So, they're in there though. Go back to the last live stream, go in the description box, and you will see them. And I will be putting them in this description box because I am using them again, and we'll make sure. Oh my gosh, that is delightful. Now, this is why I was like so enamored with this project. Like every single card I would make, I would be like, oh, I love this. This is so fun. Oh, this is so good. I was like getting my crafty mojo back. Okay, this clinches it. Look how delicious that tab. Actually, all the tabs, when I attach them, they actually go on the back. Look at that tab. It was meant to be with that card. If you're in the Lucky Dip Club, this one's definitely going in the Lucky Dip. Now, I don't know what it's going to look like because I'm going to photograph it and everything. So I'm not sure, like when I put three-dimensional items, it looks a little different, but this will be definitely in the Lucky Dip. So I'm just taking all the surprise out of that one. Okay. So I have 2 cards made. This one is not going to have anything. You can write your quote on this one. So I'm going to do another index card. I'm more excited to work on the scrapbook paper. I'm not going to lie. That's the truth. But I do want to be showing you. I do want to show you what I was trying to say about how the the index card is a fantastic little it's a fantastic little canvas. So you can build a little background just using this, just using like an embellishment if you wanted to. That one's way too big. Oh, these are my precious ones. I don't know if I can, this one, oh, that one fits perfectly. That one would be a very simple one because it just does all the heavy lifting. And if I put a honey on it, it would cover up what it says. You could put a mini honey on it. Like, okay, let me give you an example. Okay. I'm gonna lightly put her on here, but look how she would like be on here. See what I'm saying? I don't hate that. That's actually kind of cute. But I would like to keep them to the other. So I am going to keep doing what I was doing, which is, again, I'm going to go back to my little box. I'm looking at like what I've done. What have I done in the past? It looks like I used a lot of different papers. Where's those little papery papers? I use these kind of papers too. So instead of doing like a full size paper. Oh, those count. So look, I'm using an index card on these. I'm going to use one of these. That counts. This is an index card. Technically, I just covered it with some paper. So let's do that. So I have an index card backer and putting this on top. Um, Arlen asked if the link for the Creative Reset newsletter has been posted. I have not created a separate newsletter yet. I underestimated how much work that actually is, only because it involves creating a lot of branding. And I wasn't prepared when I thought I was going to do that. I wasn't prepared for like what I was actually going to need to do. So, for the time being, I'm keeping everything in one newsletter just for the time being. And hopefully, when I send it out, it'll just say the creative reset and, which I planned on sending those more frequently. So hopefully people won't be unsubscribing if they happen to get a creative reset newsletter. Um, But I guess if they unsubscribe, then I guess then they weren't in a crafty place. They weren't ready to reset their creativity. So there's that. This okay, this one is kind of interesting. Hear me out on this quote, which is why I'm willing to stick it on here. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Now, this one feels really apropos to this ledger. Actually, it might even fit even better with this because this feels like when you do accounting, that's such a systematic process. It's such a system. The dot matrix paper is a system. I don't know. It just feels very systemy, doesn't it? So, uh, I'm gonna test it out here. Actually, I'm gonna put it on this side to balance them. I try to go back and forth here. I'm going to trim these down a little bit. Okay, so there's that. Finding the right honey. I feel like this honey is the one that just she seems like she's here for business. My only my only concern is she's got the same background color, so she's not popping against it like a blue honey would really stand out. But she just I don't know, she just feels like she does too, and she's wearing white. And then who else does? But she's got the right color outfit. I don't know. I just feel like she's here to be a boss. And that's what we kind of need to have when we're talking about our habits and goals. Um, just realized I have the reset your goals um stamp set, which is in our store. This is not sold out, so this is available. And I am going to stamp the background. So I will keep her. So I have this one stamp on here that says good habits. That is a good suggestion, Jenny, is put a teal circle behind her. Don't know what I did with my circles. There. So this one right here or that one right there, probably that first one. So I'm going to, if I just put that down, that's probably good enough. Okay, so before um I add some of this paper. Man, okay, I just had some of this paper and now is it right there? No, I wanted to test stamp it. All right. Okay, so these, oh my gosh. You know what I just realized? Did I please tell me that I am actually peeling these off? Did I glue stick those stickers, those word strips on there? Oh my goodness. You didn't rise to the level of your goals. I feel like I am so used to glue sticking everything that I hope that I peeled those. I will please tell me I peeled those. Do not see strips that tell me I peeled them, which means that they've been glued. Okay. You don't rise. I'll bet you anything I glue sticked those. You know what? I did because I tried to move them and I thought, oh no, I already glue sticked it down. Oh my goodness. I don't know how I'm gonna elevate my channel. I really don't. I just don't know how I am going to be a better crafter. Just I just keep coming up snake eyes. I don't know. Do you guys watch other people craft? Is this what you're used to? Is it just like this? Are other people making these ridiculous mistakes like I do? You can tell me the truth. Tell me straight. I don't really watch crafting on YouTube or or planning. I've watched a couple um, art journaling things, but I I don't feel like I see people make silly mistakes. Karen says you used your glue stick. Yes. Okay. Arlen says they laugh at themselves too. All right. So there, I have confirmation. I did in fact glue it down. Fabulous. Well, tell you what, I definitely am out of the crafting like game, like being consistent with all of this. So I'm definitely not surprised that I'm making silly mistakes. Like putting my cap on my glue stick and then going, "Where's my cap? Where is my cap?" Stuff like that. Um, you know what? Now I wish I had not put her down. Oh, she's not stuck down here. I'm gonna. Okay. I'm looking, looking, looking. Debbie says, "How about being on your cell phone while looking for your cell phone?" Nice. Is and that reminds me of like when you have your sunglasses on top of your head. That's kind of that same family, right? The same family of feeling silly, looking for something that you clearly have upon you, with you. Okay, I am looking. The thing about these little guys is that they are so little that they very quickly fill up. Like your canvas is a very fast, fast filling canvas, which is a good thing. Uh, it definitely makes your work go fast, which is why I'm saying like that's how I was able to like keep up with this project for so long. Is like it was just so much fun how fast it went. Oh, isn't that, can I just share this with you? Look how delicious that is. Isn't that yummy? So this embellishment is from the Etsy store called the Teacher's Table. That's just delicious. I love that so much. So I'm going to, do I want to put that on top of the honey? I think I'm going to put on top of the honey. I think I want to put it up there. Oh, there's somebody walking outside on the grass. Hey, you guys, this is an opportunity for me to be that person that's like, hey, you kids, get off my lawn. Except it's more like, hey, grandpa, get off my lawn. And also it's not my lawn. I'm just the caretaker here. Okay, so cutting that off, putting that there. I'm gonna staple this down. And then I have that. And then this will be okay. That's not what I meant to do. Okay. I'm just gonna put that to the side because you guys didn't need to see that. That that was tragic. I'm um yeah. That's a good thing that happened off camera. I don't understand myself this evening. Okay. So where's the box? Okay. So if I were a tab, kind of like if I were a hammer, if I were a hammer, um, there's so many delicious options. I have multiple collections in here. I also see that I have like my crafty playbook or something like that in here. There's that one. Because I have these in here. I don't know. I'm trying to remember now if this is like a playbook thing or a planner thing. What did I create that had months in it? That's pretty bad that I don't even know. Is it oh, the faith planner. The faith planner. This one has got musical notes. And then there's this. There's also a map. I also have this one, which is that larger geometric one. I think I'll go with that one. Okay. I also have this, which is the wood one with the flower attached. That actually looks good too. Okay. So I have this. I love these little enamel dots. They're so fun to put like in little places on these cards. I feel like that is the reason why I have so many of them is from this project. And then okay, so here would be an example of when I would pull out a um there we go. So I have two dots on either I have dots on either side of her. And then either she will get that treatment like that when I finish her, or she would get the wood one with the flower. And trying to see what else I've done in the past. I've used word strips. I have little gumballs on here. I have my little these. This feels like the job for a, let's see, which color? One of these little cool, is it this color? And oh, I forgot about my tape. Oh, the vintage tape. This vintage tape is so delicious. Let me add this to, because it just, I don't know, it makes it, okay, so that makes it even more delicioso. Okay, so there's that. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to find the camera. There's that card. I got to get that vintage tape on there. There's that one. So I would write the quote in there. And then there's that one. But I feel like, um, where are my little, there we go. Okay. I love, love, love. These are some of my other favorite stickers. So adding on the little doodads. I'm getting back into the flow of like how did I do these again? I'm I'm getting there. Okay. So this one, do I do that with this one too? I feel like yes. This one also has the little, okay, so the little doodads do look cute on there. And then that's why I love these sticker sheets. There's like a cajillion little bitty doodads on these sticker sheets. It takes a while to work through these particular stickers. But when you do, and I feel like they're just so cute. I feel like they just make everything just so delicious and adorable. And I am not just saying that because they're my stickers. I genuinely, genuinely love these stickers. Okay, I don't love that one there. I just feel like they just make it so fun and quirky. I don't know, they just bring a fun, lighthearted quirkiness to it. And I kind of forgot that they're a little bit part of the formula, even though I can see them on some of these stickers sitting here in front of me. But I was reminded because I was looking at this one and I saw the little arrow here and I'm like, "Hey, there's one of the stickers." But I can even see like I don't use a lot of them on there, but I really do like them. Like they just feel like they're super fun now. So isn't like aren't these adorable? Like to have sitting up on your desk. And let me just show you. So I have this thing. Oh, here's the rest of my cards. So these are the little quote cards that we made in one of the camps. I wish I knew what these came from. I tried looking. So what consumes your mind controls your life, and an overwhelmed mind does nothing. I looked at the color palette. I don't know what this is. It kind of reminds me of Harmony, but I looked in the Harmony stuff and I couldn't it's not in what I looked at. So now I don't know. It might be a product that went in the store and I'm just not recognizing it. So anyway, I have this little guy and he holds stuff you want to look at. So this is something that would sit on my desk. How flippin' cute is that? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but sometimes we have to toot our own horn. Toot toot, beep beep. So this is what I am encouraging you to do is make some little encouragement cards for yourself. Um, these definitely were for Harmony. Like they were for a more recent camp. Harmony is the reason why I'm coming to Harmony is because of the color palette and what Harmony was about. It was about more of it was more focused on like mind, body, and spirit. And so the mind aspect of that retreat had a lot of like quotes in it, and it had a lot of stuff about like having positive things to think about. That's why I'm so convinced those are Harmony quotes. So if they look familiar to you, if you have these somewhere, they're just these are not what we did in 2017. Our stuff in 2017 didn't have this level of sophistication. Or 2018, or they're not WannaCraft. This is definitely more of a later style. Uh, this is absolutely the type of messaging we had, but I just am not able to figure it out. Um, and that's more our organization of our products is really bad, to be honest with you. So it's more of that. So anyway, so this is an example of three different cards. So this would be one where you write yourself with your own little handwriting. And just know this that I know a lot of people hate their handwriting. So print it. Print your quote in all caps. Usually when you print something in all caps, like you have to slow down and think about it. Don't like scribble it out. So so be really slow and steady with it and intentional. And you might like it better. You're just writing one little quote out. But it would be nice to have some of them in your own writing, you know? Like that that self made something for your future self so that when you're having a rough day, you know, anyway, so I made this for our lucky dip girls. I'm gonna probably make another one so there's a total of four. I personally I love I love them. They turned out cuter than I thought. So I'm gonna keep going with another, but what time is it? 6:43. All right. I don't know. Okay, so I'll be honest with you. I get a little anxious about these live streams. I always feel like, dang, they're always so long. And it's when they're so long, I feel like they're gonna be there's gonna be people that are like, oh, that's too long for me. I'm just not gonna watch that. So um I don't know. So some people won't watch, but I guess what I should do is just get the mindset that I just need to edit the live streams into smaller pieces and be like, okay, here's little chunks. But when I did that, then I got people who were really disappointed that I took a little piece of one of the live streams and upload it, and they're like, "Oh, this is just a little edited piece." so so I don't know. It's why I know that there's people who would watch some of these little concepts, but they don't want to sit through a 3-hour live stream. So I'm trying to be friendlier to people who are not invested in like long videos because I know longer videos are harder to sit through, you know? They are. And they're not gonna ever see the Reset Girl channel because they're like that she's that girl who always makes those long videos. And I'm just not gonna sit through that. I really like this combination. Where's that where's that Wanna Craft sheet at? I think I lost track. Oh, there it is. So this particular one I feel like might be a fit for maybe this girl. This might be hers. Because the only other option is someone who's like a contrasty one, like this peachy girl. And I don't know if this is the right. I feel like that's I don't know. I'm only moderately excited by that. Like that doesn't do a lot for me. So it's either I don't know. I'm not even sure if that does a lot for me. I'm on the fence about that. Now that I've cut it like pulled it out, let me see. Maybe it's just the wrong collection of okay, hang on. I'm looking for the other honey sheet, the Summer Love, because the Wanna-Craft honeys were the eye candy honeys, but the other honeys are what did I do with them? Okay, I completely did them from myself. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, I meant to use these. Kelly says if I'm crunched for time, I play back at a faster speed, which yes, Kelly. Kelly has pointed out to me that I have a hilarious chipmunk like quality once you play me back at a higher speed. Fun for everybody. Um well, shoot. I would love to see another honey for this sheet. What did I do with those girls? I think my sweet husband is grabbing out another one. I do not know how I managed to like I'm literally just sitting here. There's only so much that I can lose. Okay. All right. So these girls are a little bit more dramatic in their color palette. They're a little bit more meh. So I feel like she might be, even though she's more tonal, I'm gonna pull her off. She feels like artistic. Like she's an art. Yes, it's her. Okay. She's the one. Look at this. I'm just gonna hold her up in front. She was born for this paper, girl. Okay, I do feel a little bad though because I feel like mm, I feel like I should have another index card because I did. Okay, so we're gonna do another just plain old index card. Just do the index card and I will do the other girl later. Although, how about this? How about we compromise? I will scan. Oh, you know what? I will scan her. She is adorable. She is one of my more favorite ones. I've done a lot. Like I love her little hat, and she's got a little pom pom. Um, I have a cajillion of these cards. They're everywhere. So I will throw her in so that I have met my index card quota. So I've gotten two kind you written right on. I have her and I am having flashbacks to Cori and her sense of losing things. Bye, Jenny. Okay. So there we go. We got two and two. Okay. So two and two. Now I want to do this one so bad. So index cards. That was the name of the game here. And mixing index cards with scrapbook paper. I'm gonna put her right there, hold her down. Because I want to ensure that I am not, let me see here. So I want to put like a number down and then put her on the number. That would be fun. What number should I do? Should I do number 4? Okay, I don't have a ton of experience with these. I really don't know what I'm doing. Um, I don't know if this is a good idea, a bad idea. Um, when I tried doing it with the whole sheet, I managed to do a whole other number came with it. So I'm gonna place it where I want it. And then where's the so this is the Tim Holtz thing, and then there it is. This was one of the things that I bought too. It was in the unboxing, although I'm not sure if I showed it on camera. I don't remember if it was I don't remember if it was something that was on camera or not. Okay. I love the rub-on idea, but they make me nervous that I'm not gonna get them off. Do you guys get nervous with rub-ons? Okay, that was actually quite painless and I had nothing to worry about. Okay. So, where's my okay, my I if this was a video, I would be having to edit a lot of me searching for stuff out of it. Me looking for all, all kinds of things. Okay. So I've been spoiled. Okay, Wendy. Hi, Wendy. Wendy says that she's a little paranoid about them too. That one came off like a dream. It was not scary. I am trimming off the little white. Okay, so here is the question. Where can I put her to okay. If I put her too far over, well, you know what? Here's the question. What quote am I even doing with this? That's before I stick her down. I need to make sure I have a skinny enough quote that will fit the space between. her, since she's really not going to um okay. So I guess the question is, do I keep it all like one chunk? Yes, the question is yes, I do. Because this paper, okay. Wow, there's so many questions you have to ask yourself because if you want to have any kind of texture or layer with it, you got to do it now before. So I was looking, oh wait, what am I doing? So this one is for me. So I am trying to remind myself that everything I need to do I have everything I need to I'm just having a lot of self-doubt in life. Do you guys find yourself do you guys find yourself um do you struggle with that at this stage in your life, or do you feel that you have your confidence in yourself and your abilities is like the highest it's ever been? I think having having to do so many new things that I have to do now, I think is really, really putting me on a struggle bus. And I think that so many things that have changed and so many things that have changed like in our business and so many things that just so many things that I am now having to deal with is just it has really knocked a lot of really knocked me down. And I think that I I think that's why I doing this little project has really been like I thought would be really helpful. And not just to me, but other other people. Yes, she looks like a boss. It's just a matter of finding the right colors. Thank you, Bethany, for sharing that. Because I would say that like I there's so many things I have to learn right now. Like I have to learn how to properly run my YouTube channel. I have to properly like learn how to like film and edit and like create proper content. Not just live stream and do crafting like I am right now, but like properly do things. And I've never done any of that. Then I have to learn how to do there's so many other things like to build a proper website, proper content to make workshops and workbooks and kinds of things that I want to be like evergreen and stuff that go beyond the scope of, just the crafting community. There's like I have bigger big bigger goals, to do things or, have things to say to people. And I have just never been able to do those things. And I need to I need to do them, but it's very daunting. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. And sometimes I think it's too late. And then I go, Corey, you're the one who like told yourself years ago, it's never too late to reset your life. You're the one who said that. So it isn't too late. And that's the whole point of everything you want to do is you want to tell people that too. It's like you're trying to remind people that. So it's like you're walking right now, you are walking in the very thing that you are like having to do it all over again. Like, how old was I when I had to do that? I was 37, 38 years old when I did that and had to reset my life. And now I'm kind of doing that reset again. And yeah, it's 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 rough, and it's kind of hard because I have to keep everything still going. And I am blessed. I am so blessed that you guys are so gracious and patient and so willing to be like, yeah, we'll come back, we'll watch your channel. We don't mind. We're here. We're still here to watch you and hang out with you and come to your camps. Like, that's I'm blown away that I still have people that will come if I turn the camera on. And that's everything. So I just have to remind myself of that every day. Like, someone, you have to be your own cheerleader and remind yourself, like, you have to show up for yourself. You have to believe in yourself, right? And it sounds very cliche, but there's so much truth to that, is you have to believe in yourself. And at one point, I really did, but so many things have happened. Like, there's been so many things that have happened that it has just really knocked my confidence in myself and my brand, and everything has just really taken such a just so much. It's just a lot of hurt, and it's hard. I'm not made for social media life at all. I'm not made for this. And so many times I just want to like crawl off and like just never mind. But then I'm like, no, I can't imagine not doing this. I can't imagine not turning on the camera and not talking with you guys. You're my um, my collective, my people, my it's like friends. And I don't know. Remember Anna Green Gables, how she called Diana her kindred spirit? It's kind of like having kindred spirits. It's kind of a weird thing. It's hard to articulate that it's very weird, when you don't feel deserving of those things, but yet the proof is here. Like right now, I don't know how many people are on this live stream, but that's the evidence. So like everything you need to do, the thing you already have, like here's evidence that that is true. Um, Most people, they need an audience. They need people that believe in them, that care about what they have to say, what they have to share with the world. Like they enjoy that person. They believe in their ideas, their products, their whatever. Like, that's huge. So that's something I have. That is a well, that's invaluable is what that is. So I have to remind myself that all the time, because that little kid in me, that little wounded little kid, I mean, no matter how old we get, I don't know what it is about, like, for some of us, we just can't seem to let go of that. The little hurts that we hold on to, that little self that just is so used to certain things happening, is like you just react like the same wounded kid that you were when you were younger. I don't know why that is. It's the weirdest thing. I mean, not everyone's like that. I just think it's very weird that, like, you don't just shed that. Like, isn't growing up and becoming an adult part of part of the shedding process? You would think so. You would think it is. It's just funny that that's just, for some people, that's just not a given, that they just sort of grow out of that. And maybe this is a theory. Maybe when it comes to introverts, maybe that growing process, that shedding and maturing process, is a little stunted, because introverts just don't tend to be as social, and so they kind of, their withdrawal and keeping them to themselves, they don't tend to be as vulnerable, and have a lot of experience like socially. They don't put themselves in that position. So it's easier to not ever have to experience those disappointments or those issues. That's a theory. We all have theories. I could be totally wrong on that, but I know that there's a lot of introverts in my community here, so maybe that's something that you can relate to, is that sometimes you are more wounded easily, and it's harder for you to let go of being wounded. My I think about that when I think of like my mom, for instance, and my dad. Both my parents actually were both like get over it parents. And boy, if there was a way to just do that, I would pick that every day of the week. I would just get over it. I think a lot of us would, if only it were that simple. Where do I sign up for that? I don't think. I mean, I definitely don't. I'm not look. I think. I'm not looking to be. I think a lot of. I don't think there's a lot of looking to be victims in our age group. I think I think it's kind of mixed. Either I think that's kind of like we look down on that kind of thing, or we're like, yeah, we wear it, and it's kind of, it can go either way. Think it's maybe dependent on the person. So there's that, which I love. This quote, it's something someone said in a video I was listening to on YouTube. They were like, it was a pep talk about, doing uh eh, fulfilling your purpose. It was kind of, that was the message, and it was really encouraging. I really liked the message. So it was just a reminder, is like, you don't need all, you don't, you think a lot of people seem to think that they need to have all of like this knowledge, and they need to have a fancy degree, and they need to be qualified, and I tend to think like that. And her point is actually, everything you need is, you already have. And sometimes that's lived experience. For some people, the lived experience is what they need. God can use a lot of that lived experience to help certain people. Okay. I am looking for, I'm just going to marry this up to the right tab just because it just fills me with such joy looking at it. Ooh, that's very clashy. There's a little bird. I appreciate the throwing out stuff into the chat room. Those of you who are sharing your thoughts, because videos live on my channel for years, and somebody comes along and reads what you're saying, and it will be edified by the input. There's a lot of wisdom in this collective community, given our ages. Just remember that. So those of us that are younger and coming by and watching are can be really helped by women our age. I actually learn a lot from listening to millennial women, uh, in the sense of like realizing what what's really where the gaps have happened to them, like where the questions that they have in life and stuff, have like what's happened to them, how have they been affected by like our generation. It's just very interesting, and how their reactions to things are because of some of the things that we take for granted. Like it's very interesting listening. I find it very informative. So I try to listen, especially because I have a daughter who is one and she is, um, I like that pink. I definitely want to add something here. Okay, so I feel like there needs to be a little bit more of something that is crossing over. Do I want to use this color, that color? Let me try this color. I wasn't going to, but I am really liking the way that these little whimsy arrows and my little buddies, my little Bible buddies. I'm gonna all of these little stickers are going to get they're going to get they're not getting rebranded. We're going to do a little makeover on our website, and they're going to get kind of reorganized into two little collections. So I think that it will be really cute when they're all done. Um, because I don't want them to be pigeonholed into just thinking you can only use them for certain functions, because they're most definitely something you can use um, for like what I'm doing right now. Like, I love doing stuff like this for like my journaling and even my note taking. Let me show you what I mean. Like, I will use all of my little emojis and stuff for like just regular like my note taking. Like all my little honeys and my little gumballs and my stuff. Like, I'll use it here. These are just like notes from a video I was watching, and I was just writing down everything she was saying. So I just love using them because they just make notes come alive. They just feel so fun and fresh, and they make me want to revisit my notes because they just look so cute. So I personally love using them for that. Like, it's just more than, using them just one way, just beyond using them in just your like Bible crafting. And for sure, these were made long before that. These were something the whole whimsy arrows, man, they've been around for I forget I forget how I can't remember how we introduced those. They were probably part of our planner stuff or listers. I can't remember now. Okay, I'm gonna do my other favorite thing, which is to do this. Okay. And then I'm going to do some outlining. And then I'm going to outline her. Okay, so let me hold that up. So I added a little extra stuff to it. I'm going to take this one off. I don't love this one. I feel like it's kind of bringing it down. It's cheapening it. That looks better. I feel like that one was like the color palette was wrong. Not it was not the right fit for that. So what else is the right fit? How about some okay, we're at 3 hours, and so I made a note to myself that this was going to be a 2 hour live, and I was even planning on announcing that. at the beginning of the live stream. And and it is not. It is not a 2 hour live stream. Okay, I'm going to put this one by itself over here. So I'm going to show you that little extra added. Those little sparkly stars are the best. I feel like this little black pen is so fun. I love these pens so much. They have that little needle tip, but it's a better needle tip than I can't remember the name. Oh, I'll have to look it up. The name of the company of this. These are so well made. I just love these pens. But they give you such a nice like craft tip. Leslie, thanks for joining us. Hi, Miss Laurette. Okay, just adding a few little lines in here. Okay, so this paper is definitely on the thinner side. It is not as thick as the regular cardstock paper I have. This 49 Market paper, this is the thickest scrapbook paper I've seen. It is crazy thick. Um, I really like it. But this one is on the definitely on the thinner side for scrapbook paper. Not that that's a bad thing, like I don't feel like it needs a backer or anything, but I just saying. So these are my cards. I'm gonna throw this one in because I just love her. I love her little hat. I was so inspired. I'm trying to remember Claudine Helmuth was where I got that inspiration for adding the little party hat on the my yearbook photos that I bought from a Etsy seller. So this is going to be one of the cards that goes in. I'm going to do this one's mine, but I love that card so much. So I hope that you guys find this one exciting. I will probably have to edit this video down so I can do like a quick version. So that one will be a lucky dip. This one will be a lucky dip. Because I think this is important to remember because habits are important to remember. That we all need them. And that's what they basically come down to is habits. Achieving goals are about creating a system of habits is what it comes down to. And then this is a good place for writing, your own little quote. So having handwritten quotes and then little typewriter. Uh, Executive 25, I think that, or is it F25 executive? F25 executive? I feel like that's a really good typewriter font. I think it's F25 executive. Okay, so, okay, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say that I have achieved more than I had set out to do, for sure. So, was this helpful, inspiring? Did you guys are you guys ramped up to do some cards of your own? And I think that I'm excited to do a workshop on this. That's what I'm excited to do. I have had this workshop in my heart to do for like 6 years now, maybe. I have tried to because really this whole thing was really supposed to be part of like this whole bigger thing. I was going to have this whole thing trademarked and this whole big package thing. It was like a whole thing. But I am just going to let that, I think I'm just going to just we're just going to move past that. And um, I want to start dripping out little sneaks of this because I want to, it's all going to come together in the end. And as we move through the rest of this year, I'm dripping out some of the projects that are going to be like the core of my brand for next year. So I am hoping that you guys, uh, I need to stop saying guys. That's one of the habits I need to stop doing. No more guys. First of all, you're not guys. Second of all, it's such a terrible habit to get into. So I want really to I really want this is was really meaningful to me was to inspire you to kind of embrace this as such a quick little craft. Now I probably made it more painful than it needs to be. You don't have to overthink every little. Okay, let me face cam this. Okay, being on being right here. Okay. So you don't have to overthink every little move that I was doing. Unless you are enjoying yourself, which I'm enjoying myself. Like I'm like loving every little piece of like finding something, the right thing. And if I didn't have the camera on and you guys were, I feel like you're kind of like, I feel like I'm trapped. I get feel like I'm trapping you here. So when the camera's off, then then it's more like when you're at home and you're just kind of freely spending as much time as you want on it and walking away and coming back and leaving all your stuff out and doing what doing what you want. Um, that's how I was literally able to sit at my desk for hours just pumping out one card after another after another. And if you recall, I did mention, I hinted multiple times over the years that I had such a creative block. And I said that there was this project, this thing that happened that helped me get over it, and it was this. You are looking at this is one of the things. I sat there and made these, and it was like something my creative little spirit came to life. And I was like a little kid. I was running back to Mark, showing him every single card, and then and then I'll just top this off, running into my mom's house. This is like the first year we were staying on her property, and then running into my mom's house to show her, look what I made. Like I literally was a little kid again. I can't believe I'm telling you guys this. But that was the mindset of how horrible it felt to be hosting the late night crafty club week after week and feeling so horrible that I couldn't think of things to do on it. I couldn't come up with ideas. I didn't know what to I felt like a fraud of saying that like, yeah, I'm hosting this show, this crafting show when I wasn't a crafter. I didn't really have any solid like to me, I didn't have any solid crafting skills and I had no good ideas. This is before the crafty playbook existed and I was literally texting people the day of late night crafty show. Do you have any ideas for what I can do tonight? That is where I was. That is how bad it was. It was like I just faced a blank and knowing that the camera was going to go on and I was going to have to sit there and try and think of like, I was going to have to come up with something that was worthy of your time to have you show up and excited to be spending time with the community. And I'm like, what am I going to do? So that is where this wellspring of creativity just burst out of me. And that is why I was just like a child overflowing with joy that I tapped into this. And I have all of these cards, and I've been sitting here for years with these cards. And they've been like my precious, and I've been like guarding them, protecting them, and I had all these plans for them. And there's been times like people that, when there was other people doing stuff on on our creative team, you know, they wanted to do card projects, and I would ask, please don't, can you like, can you not do a card project, because I was protecting this. Like I want to launch this and keep it within this project, you know, and I feel bad about that now because this meant so much to me, and I'd had so many things in my mind, so many things stolen from me, my, you know, that I wanted this thing, and I've had a lot of time in the last couple years to reflect on it, and I realize it's like I'm just going to I'm just rolling it out. I'm not gonna I'm not going to treat it like my precious anymore. I don't want to turn into Gollum. Maybe I already have. I don't know. But I definitely I just want people to enjoy making a simple craft. If you have felt like if you were that version of me where you're just not crafting anymore, I know some of you have mentioned to me that you've lost your crafty mojo and you just feel like you just want that back again. You're not crafting as much. You know, you've let your craft room become a storage room, which is that happens. You don't turn to your supplies, you know, and like everything else, you know, there's just other things that you just turn to that become an interest to you, or you just can't, you feel like you can't spend time or devote time to crafting. It feels like that's just a um something I can't spend, you know, I don't have bandwidth for. I don't have time for that. Um I realize that this little project is what it did for me is it helped me come to life again. And after that happened, the crafty playbook was born. Camp Wannacraft was born. And I felt like everything I did after that, like I was next level in my creativity and my abilities. Like all the things that I started loving what I was making, you know, like layering 101, those little workshops that I taught. I am not doing groundbreaking stuff. I'm not. There are so many talented mixed media artists, and there's so many like people who've done scrapbooking stuff I'm doing. You can find people doing very similar things. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I am, for me, in my own little self, in my own little world. That's why I try not to, like, I don't go out much and go um look too much in the same little niche. For myself sitting at my little desk, I'm so happy with what I make. I feel so good about what I'm doing. That's all that I don't want to compare myself to anybody. I don't want to I'm just so happy with what I did. I look at my little cards, my little index cards, and I want you to look at the humble index card as a little canvas. I'm just picking the simplest little crafts because I'm trying to reach the hurried housewife, the Gen X mom that is sandwiched between taking care of her parents and her kids or her grandkids, and is not taking care of herself or making time in her life for these things, but still has that little inner kid that loves her Crayola crowns. That's who I'm trying to reach. So if I had all those amazing skills, like some of these artists that I love looking at their work, but they're like years into their experience, like I can see that, you know, I'm just not going to pick up a paintbrush and know how to do the stuff that they can do. They're years into that. I want to reach the ladies that are, they're just telling themselves that they just don't have time. I just can't, I just don't, I'm not good enough. The person I was. So that's always what I've been trying to do. So I'm just like I'm a lazy crafter. I'm a simple crafter, and I just, when I find something I love that I do, I just stick with it. So that's why you see the same stuff all the time. It's really rare that I'm buying new stuff, but when I do, I love what I use, and I want you to love what you use. whatever that is. It doesn't have to be Honey's. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be my product. I just want you to love what you use, and I want you to feel like you're developing your own style. And if you're testing out and practicing that style on an index card, it's going to give you some confidence, some crafting confidence. That is the name of my workshop. That right there. I didn't want to call it Layering 101 because I was like, that doesn't mean anything and no one's going to get that. Right there. You heard it right here live. It just popped out of my mouth. So anyway, this channel, the creative reset and all of it was just such a spontaneous idea. I mean, it really was. I didn't give it a whole lot of thought, but sometimes my best ideas are often just very spontaneous, just like the late night crafty club, spontaneous. I didn't overthink it. I'm a total overthinker. But so many of the things I've done have just been the best things I've done sometimes are just camp reset. They've all been the spontaneous things that I don't overthink and overcomplicate, and I'll figure it out later, which is, those are terrifying things to do, by the way. Um, and that's not really like me. I'm not a I'll figure it out later kind of person. But this is like that. I want more women to embrace, just like the listers got a list days. I want to see that more. I want to see more women participating in something that they love it. So if you are not crafting, if you are not participating, if you're not doing something, if you're not in it, this is it. This is your siren call. This is it. I am calling you. You have been summoned. Okay? You have been summoned. I'm invoking your little crafting spirit and your crafty skills. I am invoking that to I'm summoning you. I don't know what any of that means, but I'm saying. So I don't know if I can edit this down into like a manageable video for others. I will try. I'll have to practice my editing skills. But I know my ride or die community loves a nice long live stream, but I want to reach out to the ones that are like, I don't have time for that. They need the shorter video. They need to see, look, this is an easy craft. Like it can be done. I did make it painful, but I will have to show like, look how fast you can do it. Um, but man, I love these. These turned out so good. I'm not bragging, but they feel so good when I look at them like, oh my gosh, this so delicious. If I saw this on Pinterest, I would pin this all day long. That's what I told Mark too. I was like, I can't believe how many things I have pinned on Pinterest, and I don't have any of my own work pinned anywhere. How much stuff? I have over 3,000 pictures on my Instagram, and none of it is on. I don't have a single thing on my own Pinterest, I think, unless you count like a printable I made years ago. So I need to get my photos onto my blog. First of all, I need to make a blog, and then I need to get my photos on there so that I have a gallery of my work so I can go, look, I really do make stuff. I am a crafter, a creator. I do stuff and pin it because I made it. There's all kinds of women who pin their own stuff, and I just think, what am I doing? I don't even pin my own stuff. So this is something I would pin. And I say that not to be like, I'm amazing, but I want you to think of yourself that way. I don't think of myself like that. And you probably don't think of yourself like that. We need to have crafting confidence. Okay? We need to toot our own horn. We have this gift. We're cultivating our gifts. We're learning new things. I'm just doing little baby step things. And then, and then you can learn from other amazing, talented people out there that have next level gifts, have next level talents. Not all of them will explain or teach things, but then there's other teachers, I do try and find like who's teaching like the mid-level stuff that will show, other. because I always seem to find like the very more complicated teachers. And I've been to a couple workshops like that, and it was so over my head. I was like, I'm not at this level. And I just felt like it was obvious I wasn't at that level. So I, I just feel like if I have a crafting calling, it's that I'm just for that entry level, and then and just trying to create, trying to trying to be your craft bestie. I want you to feel like I'm with you in your home wherever you are in this world, because I know I have my international friends. Wherever you are, I'm crafting with you. I'm encouraging you. I want you to love what you craft, and however, like whatever little things I can show you or teach you, what I have learned, what I like. I want you to develop an eye where you like something too. Because I'm not trying to get you to be Cori and craft like I do. I'm just trying to, as I think of things, I'm just trying to share with you. And a lot of you know stuff too. So that gives you a chance to share in the community, in the chat room, in the comments, what your ideas are. I learned one of the best tips ever from somebody who was kind enough to share that in the comment section of one of my videos, about these plastic mats, chopping mats from Dollar Tree. So whoever you are, if you're watching this video, thank you so much for taking the time to do that. That was a game changer, game changer. So and I love this YouTube name, Misfit Crafter. That's an awesome name. I love that. So anyway, I thank you so much. Those of you who are asking about the newsletter that I mentioned multiple times in my last live stream, I have not I have not set up a new newsletter yet. It's going to take a little bit more time than I had ever anticipated. I have to think through how to set that up properly. So hopefully I will be able to do that by like a couple more times. So I will be taking to this episode. I'm gonna what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is every time I do a creative reset, I will send out a newsletter to say, "Hey, I did one. Here's the link, and here's a summary." So hopefully people will not unsubscribe by me doing that, and they will be excited, like, "Oh, yay! Thanks, Cori, for giving me a reminder." But because I don't want to be in someone's inbox like pestering, that is my only concern. I want people to opt into what they feel like, but we have to figure out that opting in thing, that piece. Me and Mark need some time to figure that part out. So I just need a little extra time for that. So anyway, thank you all for showing up into tonight's live. Uh, and I didn't want to part. I didn't want to say goodbye. I went an hour and a half longer than I thought. And Jennifer, thank you so much for letting me know that. I hope that your next shopping trip to the office supply store or on Amazon includes a pack of heavyweight, trust me on this, index cards, heavyweight index cards, blank or lined, either one, and then a set of clear shopping mats, if you haven't already, those in your arsenal, so that you can make yourself a little template, as I demonstrated earlier in the live stream, so that you can choppy chop up some scrapbook paper and make yourself a mixture of cards that will then be fantastico in your little storage box, of which I have one here. A little vintage, sorry, that always happens. A little vintage recipe box a la eBay. I'm sure that you guys have noticed it. It's usually sits in the back here. I have different variations of them around, but that's what I keep in them. So, but you shall see more, because I am incentivized to get that workshop put together. I've been working on these cards, like I said, because I want to have a lot of examples to show and share with you, so that you will just be like, yes, this is what I want to do. This is a project that I want to devote time to because I have so many different ways of using them, and it will just be something super approachable. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, there you go. There you go. Exactly. When you can go, 3 to 5 hours long and like lose track of time because you're having so much fun. That's the best. That is crafty friends make the best friends, right? Isn't that one of our taglines from back in the day? So thank you, Mahaya. Mahalo back to you, sister. So anyway, we're getting one of our Midwestern goodbyes if Kelly Anderson is still here. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on our index card project. Will you be making some? Are you feeling like you need more confidence as a crafter? Crafting confidence, that's going to be my workshop name. So excited for that. Got to write that one down. And thank you for hanging with me this long. If you are still watching, and I will be sending out the newsletter within a few days. So that but you can always come back and watch the replay on this channel if you joined in later. And you can rewind it back and just watch it right now. But thank you so very much. And as a reminder, all the honeys that I used tonight were not, well, they were injured in the making of this video, actually. Quite some of them were trimmed, but they are available in our store. And the links for those are in the description box below. Okay, I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Mwah! Bye, everybody. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. Bye, everybody. If I can remember how to do this.